All right, guys. Today we got something big today we have something big planned for you guys. Me and Coach Deku or Deku. I don't know what are we just going by Deku on the desk?
Yeah, we can go by Deco on the desk.
Perfect. All right, so me and Deku, for those that don't know, we will be duo casting through all of NACT. So we got to get some practice in. And tonight we have some teams that want to scrim, so what a better time to do it than now. So I won't be able to read chat or do anything like that. We won't really be responding to you guys that much, maybe after the game. But if you want to stick around, listen to some great casting between me and Deku, we'd be happy to have you guys here. Up front, we have Bloodhounds going against Team Time, right, Deku?
That's right. Definitely excited. Team time in Bloodhounds here. It's definitely going to be a fun match. Well, last second, like I said, we got to get that practice in for NACT right around the corner. And I don't know about you, Trex, but I'm feeling hyped, man. I'm definitely excited. It's going to be my first time. I know you already been there, spinning the block, as they say.
Most
but,
definitely.
100% excited to get in there.
Just want to make sure you can see my screen, right? I'm sharing it on Discord. That way you can see it, all right? I lost you in game. Do you want me to re-invite you? Or are you all good?
Yeah, let me hop back in real quick. Yeah, I'm back online. You can send one.
All right.
Quick. Boop, there we go. We are good.
Cool, cool. Let me leave this. Boom, boom. All right, so I know Bloodhounds. I'm comfortable with Bloodhounds, and I know Team Time a little bit, right? I know they have competed in the past NACT. I don't think they got too far, maybe top 32, top 16, around that area, but I know they have been practicing like crazy, right, Deku?
Yep, that is right. And I'm kind of in the same boat as you. A little more familiar with Bloodhounds. Fairly comfortable with Team Time, but those name changes a little hard to keep up. But Bloodhounds has been grinding, man. Boca Roscoe. Shout out to him over there leading a pretty nice, solid roster here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Bloodhounds do in this upcoming NACT. Will they make it to the season, right? They just made the cut for top 8 in last NACT. It was kind of on technicality, but still an amazing team. Even during the final playoff brackets, they were able to do decently. And we know that he's been practicing. We know he's been trying to prove himself and his team for a while now. I think this NACT could possibly be the opportunity for him. I may have lost Deku here. Don't know if there was a couple technical difficulties on his side. Maybe the mic. Looks like he's trying to unmute. For now, I will keep this going. On the band side from Boca Roscoe, Xavier, Joy. A little surprised by the Xavier band, wondering exactly if that's something that we're going to start seeing a bit more. The Arlet and the Fredrin by Team Time here. Fredrin, I get it. It's probably one of the best junglers in the game right now. Arlet, I haven't really had the opportunity to see how he's going to compete yet and where exactly he fits in the meta.
And I've been able to see a couple Arlet picks here and there. And it's like you said, not really quite sure exactly how it's going to fit in. It's still one of those new champs. We do know it is going to be allowed to fly and slide in the NACT. So I'm definitely expecting to see some teams maybe try it out. But for what I'm seeing, right, he's definitely a nuisance. I do believe he is worth the ban, whether that's because of how strong the kit may be or just how unfamiliar these teams are. It's always a worthwhile ban to go ahead and get it out the way. You don't really want to let those X factors, I like to call them, enter onto the board where you're not really sure how to deal with them. So it's definitely a wise ban from these top tier teams out here in NA.
Now, there comes the first pick. Not something I would expect to see, the Natan. Now, this is a hero that a lot of people are saying is broken right now. A lot of people, I mean, from my personal views, watching some MPL overseas, I haven't seen too much from it just yet. I feel like its early game is still lacking. Until it gets to level 4, it doesn't have any escapability. So I'm wondering, is this worth it up front? The glue's still open, still a few other options open, but as a first pick, it's a little questionable in my eyes, Deku.
And you know what? It's an interesting point that you make about it being a first pick. I too had probably the same revelation the other night for the MLSA. We had teams pulling out Nathan first pick, and I was like, a marksman first pick of this caliber, like you said, normally when they're overpowered, we went through the carry phase. That was definitely first pickable.
Yes.
But the Natan definitely, I'm right with you. I feel like it leaves a little bit more to be desired to be a first pick. It's definitely a decent pick, but a first pick, like you said, does raise a bit of a red flag for me coming out from Bloodhounds. But speaking of those new pick strikes, the Edith over there coming out from the side of Tom.
I mean, it's funny that the moment we're talking about Natan, in comes the Edith right after, another new patch hero, right? Another new hero that's getting introduced, essentially because of the last buffs. And I'm wondering where she's going to fit in. You know, we've seen her play a little bit roam, EXP, things of that nature, but we are getting spicy here because Bo Carrasco just locked in the Alice. It's got to be in the EXP lane, right? But if maybe Boca wants to try something spicy here, put it in the mid lane, my guess is they flex it over, but still, either way, both drafts very flexible, right? We know the Alice can possibly go mid, most likely not, but with the with that Lunox from Team Time, another flexible hero, right, along with the Edith. Either of them can switch roles here, so not showing too much of their cards just yet in the first phase.
Well, it raises a bit of a question for me, right? It definitely could be flexible coming out from the side of Bloodhounds, but you made note of this on a previous stream, right? How North America not too much in the favor of using that flexibility.
They must have heard
I'm
me.
not really, but I'm not sure if it goes anywhere, right? Bo Carrasco, not currently, but at one time highly regarded as an Atlas player. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this get locked into the mid lane still. It can be flex, but Trex, like you said, we've seen it time and time again. They kind of throw the cards right at you. This is where we're going to put it. This is where we're going to slot it. And the first guess is probably your best guess when it comes to these North American teams. But I could be wrong, and maybe we do see some flexibility. But I'm not going to bet all in for the flex. I'm definitely expecting it to stay in the hands of Bo Carrasco up against Team Time here.
Now that either way, it's interesting, right? Bo Carrasco, a great mage player, and he used to main the Alice. So if he has the capabilities to run this in the mid lane, it's going to definitely be an interesting game with that. Now, with Team Time now picking up the Kaja, we know 90% chance that's going roam, which means Edith will be an EXP lane, kind of forfeiting up some of that mystery on Team Time here. Lunox still able to flex either way, but second phase of bans are coming in. Team Time wants to hone down into these roams, take out the Atlas, and from the side of Bloodhounds, I'm wondering if they want to, do they risk it? Do they just go into the gold lane, or do they go into the mage, or do they maybe just play safe and take away junglers here?
And, it's really a hard call to make because when you look at Team Times, when you're talking about flexibility, you definitely have to take note of the picks, right? On paper right now, you could say they don't have a marksman and maybe look to ban those out. But that Lunox, right? We have seen it flex to the gold lane, and it's done pretty decent up there. If I do say so myself, that is an option for them. The Kaja is flexible. The Edith, typically we see in the XP, so it might negate where Kaja could go. You can see it in the roam. Maybe if they really want to get weird, right? Something in the jungle here. But it's going to be a little hard to read for the side of Bloodhounds. I'm liking the way Team Time has kind of set up their composition. They're strong picks, but they're flexible picks. It's nothing easy to just pick apart as you move into the bans. Anything could be a mistake. They could fall for a trap in the draft here. It's just so much opportunity coming out from the side of Team Time going to that second phase of the draft.
Most definitely now with the glue finally getting taken out here, finally showing some respect. But Bloodhounds don't want to go full into that jungler, right? They still have to pay some respects as well. They don't know where that Lunox is going to go just yet, but they don't want to risk it. We're going to take at least one marksman off of the field here. They already have the Natan, but the thing is there's still plenty of marksmans open here. There's still the Beatrix, there's still the Carry, who I believe is still semi-viable here, right? I mean, I know she got some nerfs, but I still think she can pack a punch, and with the bulkiness of that Alice, even with how Martiz can be, it could be a decent pick, but Team Time maybe want to go for a little bit of range here, a little bit of flexibility, possible steamroll pick, possibly locking in this Brody.
And I'm definitely not mad at that if they do go ahead and lock in that Brody. It definitely is about the same job done. Like you said, packs a punch. It does good up against pick like Ash, especially with that HP percentage. You could definitely expect to see Boker also build maybe hybrid, right? A little semi-tank there. Martis as well. But, now that we're moving over into the blue side of the draft, the second half, I kind of want to speak on it a little bit. Tuna.com here. I'm not sure if you're aware, but he's a recent pickup for Bloodhounds. Came from Team Incognito, one of the teams that participated in NACT previously. So a little bit of shift in the roster for the side of Bloodhounds. I was asking Boca if we were going to get to see Tuna.com, and he's saying more than likely we will see him suit up for Bloodhounds in NACT. So this is going to be my first time getting to see him scrim with the Bloodhounds and, kind of seeing how he's gelling with the team. Because like I said, this is a new pickup. So interesting to see how he's going to fit in, if he's going to be able to mesh. But as we're talking about mesh, these final picks locking in for the blue side, seeing how it's going to blend together for the whole picture. Benedetta falling into the hands of Tuna.com, and that Kufra, one of those signatures for Blink, is well locked in to complete their side of the draft, Trey.
So I do like the Beatrix here, right? And I think us having him, this is our first time really seeing him play in any type of real competitiveness. For us, it's a good hero to start off because you got to know what you're doing with the Beatrix here. You got to know how to be proactive on the map, move around, make plays happen. But another thing, it should do well against just this Edith. Be able to kind of nullify that CC, dash away, use that eye for an eye, things of that nature to kind of play around with this Edith a little bit and maybe make her waste her kit. Now, finally, though, Jeth's daddy locking in the jungle. I was wondering what we were going to see for the jungle, and this is definitely not what I expected. That's a Harith right there. That's a Harith right there, Deku.
That is a Harith, and I'm not going to lie. It's an interesting pick, right? We had seen Harith rise a little bit in the gold lane during M4 here and there. I would say it was like probably a step below the Lennox. I definitely was more in favor of her being in the gold lane, but in this jungle, we haven't seen that in a long time. Several metas removed from Harith dominating in the jungle, but with those recent buffs, getting a little bit of love from the devs, might be in a better state here to go ahead and perform in this match. But before that all gets underway, we've got a little bit of a pause, a little bit of technical issue coming out from one of the teams. But with the stage being set, we see the compositions, we know what's going where. Trex, I got to know, how are you kind of feeling for the matchup? What are you kind of leaning towards here? You going for Team Tom or maybe Team Bloodhound?
I mean, all right, so there's a couple conditions here, right? I think for the side of Bloodhounds, with the composition they have, I want to say they want to be aggressive with this Martez in the early stage, right? He should be able to bully this Harith if he can get in, right? And I think he needs to try to do that in the laning phase before level 4 comes, because he has to worry about the Divine Retribution once level 4 does come for that Kaja. Now, on the other side, they have a nice late game here, right? They got the Lunox, they have some Brody for early game impact, and also once the Zaman's Force comes for Just Daddy on this Harith, you have some opportunity there for play, but still they're looking a little bit squishy for me in that mid lane, especially in this early phase. And Boca Roscoe, gonna have a lot of bulk, gonna have some CC, some stun. You add that up with Blink, along with this Kufra and even more CC, more stopping the dashes from this Harith, which I'm surprised they picked into this. I mean, it just seems like trouble for the side of Team Time. The only thing I see lacking on the side of Bloodhounds, honestly, is kind of mid to late game hard damage. They don't have any big backline burst because you sacrifice that type of mage by putting Boca Roscoe on this Alice. The only one that's really going to be packing the punch when the time comes towards the mid-late phases is going to be Natan. So it's a lot of pressure on Sleeps if the game gets that far.
But you know what? Talking about pressure there, Trex, I feel like there's another bit of an opportunity coming for the side of Bloodhounds, right? You have Alice and you have that Benedetta. I feel like that's some automatic lane pressure coming from those two picks, especially when you look at the side of Team Time. There's no one really there to manage those waves. You have a Lennox, Edith, Kaja, the Brody, and then a Harith, right? Who's really going to be able to manage those waves, like you said, during that mid and late game, where the wave management comes to be a crucial aspect of the game? We're talking about setting up for those neutrals when it comes to those lords. Who's going to be on that far side of the map trying to win out on that neutral stage and kind of bring that advantage, maybe those slow pushes to kind of put that pressure on that opposite side of the map? I definitely have to give that up to the side of Bloodhounds. I think they're going to be able to create great opportunity, great spacing, and some opportunity for maybe some number advantage when it comes to those neutrals. When you have things like Alice, when you have things like Benedetta in the hands of Tuna.com, it's going to open up a lot of clearance for those waves and maybe open up a lot more than the side of Team Time is going to be able to keep up with.
Most definitely are going to be jumping back into this game now. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure everybody is ready to go. Now, like I said, I think the most A big thing here is going to be how Bloodhounds fight it out in these early phases. But again, I'm wondering how Bocarosco is going to play on this Alice, because you kind of need to hover down in this mid lane to make sure you get your stacks up, right? You need to hover down, and you can't really move around too much because you're going to sacrifice a lot there. So I'm just wondering how he's going to pull this off. I think they could have been even more aggressive with a different mage, but we'll see how they play this out.
You're speaking of aggression there, right? We're already seeing the wave cuts come out from Tuna.com and the Benedetta. Nice and early. First wave already trying to create some pressure, but also speaking of aggression, keep an eye on Martin there, using that tank jungle setup to its max potential with the invade going for the raid. And I don't think Team Time has had a read on it because you don't see Harris going for the trade, actually running into the members potentially here over for this litho.
Yeah, now Blink gonna get pushed back here. Could be a bad start there. Got a feeling Deku might go down.
It could go down indeed. We're seeing Just Daddy. Who's your daddy going to strike the first blood here into mid-river? Maybe looking for more. A sure grab the Mortal Pulse combination coming out from this Martis. But without that level 4, not going to have any kill pressure.
So now the tables have turned because the side of Team Time have actually taken first blood here. And this is the worry about that Alice. You don't have a lot of damage early on. Yes, you have a little bit of CC, but it's nothing like a Farza would do. It's nothing like, you know, other mages could do, the Eve, anything really. And I just feel like it's kind of counteractive when it comes to picking up the Martis because, yeah, you want to be aggressive, but Turtle will be up in just about 10 seconds. We did see this Martis take the orange buff, so we know that their head's in the right space. The question is can they actually fully pull it off?
And it's a great point that you actually made about that whole wave clearing thing. Yeah, I harped on it a little bit for the side of Bloodhounds where I feel like they went out, but to be noted, like you said, not coming out in the early game. That's more of a mid-late thing where Alex and Benedetta and company can kind of take over the waves. But like you said, in this early right now, definitely an advantage. But speaking of advantage, Counterpart Memory gonna take out Kokomi here in the top, or not Kokomi, Sleeps here up in the top side as Turtle's being worked on in some more on the side of Bloodhound.
Yeah, and it looks like there may be a little bit of an engage here. Martis is able to take that, but the battle does pursue.
And right now, we're seeing a little more action as Decimation finds one Just Daddy in the backside, though. He's going to take out Bocarosco. Blink has to get out of there with a Tire's Rage. He is dropped low. Assures Wrath from Martis to go ahead and help with the disengage. The Bloodhound is going to look to retreat after picking up that first neutral in the game.
I mean, at this point, Bloodhound's falling behind, and this is not what you want to happen. We could argue that maybe they have some late game possibility, but the fact that Sleeps has already taken a death as well, which, as I stated in the beginning, he is kind of their saving grace. He's going to be the only real damage dealer when the time comes. Yes, you have sustainability, you have DPS with Bocarosco on this Alice, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially since he's taken a death already. Up in the top side, though, a little bit of a push on a Blink.
And Blink right now going to be taken out in the blink of an eye to Jeff Daddy. He's 3-0 on the Harris, and we were questioning how it would look, how it would perform, and there's the answer on pretty much a killing spree in the early game right now, showing us exactly the mastery that comes with this Harris.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what does Bloodhounds even do, right? He is going to get a little bit of a knock-up. Savage in a bad spot. Bocarosco going to try to come down, but Savage does bite the bullet. Bloodhounds finally finding something in this moment. Luckily, they have been keeping the gold at about a standstill, right? They were able to take that turtle. They were able to steal an orange buff, and even though they've taken a couple kills, the gold is still right neck and even.
It is neck and even, but speaking of even, things not looking too even for the side of Time is Martis is going to find a Decimation and now looking to enforce their will on the blue buff. They do have a bit of a number advantage potential on the map, but keep an eye on Janine on this one. It's going to drop in with the Chaos Assault. Going to be cut out by Blink, now knocked by the Mortal Cold. Going to be forced to flicker, but Bocarosco is going to have to blink out of there, and now Just Daddy and Savage here looking for the 2v2s. Almond Force is still down, but is running out of time, looking to expire. Is now looks like Bloodhounds is going to go ahead and disengage, and Trex, they were able to pick up that blue buff. How's that looking for Jeff's Daddy, looking to slow him down here?
I mean, it's going to slow him down a lot, and we're starting to see Bloodhounds get into a bit of a... They're starting to smoothen out a little bit. And when they want to try to push in, they're able to actually pull it off. And now they've taken a couple buffs from Jeff Daddy. Taking a look at the items, though, Jeff Daddy isn't too far behind, right? He's only 300 gold behind the jungler of Bloodhound. So he still has a lot of opportunity. He has been able to pick up some kills, so that makes up for some of those loss of buffs. But now Blink going to try to zone away Team Time.
tried to find something, but speaking of zone, Tuna.com with the Benedetta tried to find something in the backside with that Divine Judgment and the eye for an eye. He's trying to escape. He's going to get taken by Jin Yoon here, and the turtle going to be picked up by Jeff Daddy. And not just that, Savage going to take out Blink. And now a 4v2 advantage. They're going to go ahead and push that team Bloodhounds. Able to take the turtle, able to take some kills, but Sleep's doing all he can to trade out a tower and going to lose a flicker all at the same time.
Yeah, so it seems like every time that Team Time makes a play, Bloodhounds is at least answering back a little bit, right? Sleeps finds a tower, going to get himself a little bit of gold there. He is also not too far behind from this Brody, but Kokomi with 0 deaths, that's exactly what you want for Brody. He's already got the Blade of Despair in. He's going to start working on some penetration, possibly Hunter's Strike, get him a little bit of a speed up when he gets some of these skills off. But at this point, he's on a roll. It's okay that he's lost that tower, because once he starts getting involved in these big team fights around the 7-8 minute mark, he could definitely cause some damage to the side of Bloodhounds.
100% can start causing some damage, but picking the damage right, we did note the early game not going too well for the side of Bloodhounds, but Hang on picking out early pick off here from this. Eric maybe not the outplay with the Petrify and the Electro Blow, and now here comes Blink to go ahead and help Tuna disengage after he had the miraculous 1v1 outplay. Now Boca Roscoe with the Blood Ode, he's going to take down Savage, but we got to talk about the play and about what a Savage play from Tuna.com with that Petrify, but now looking for the return on the top side. Divine Judgment is going to facilitate a kill into Genu's and Sleeps. He's going to take a bit of a nap there as they pick him apart in the top side of the map.
You know, we were questioning him. We were wondering, can Tuna.com bring something to the side of Bloodhounds? And right there, I think we saw it. He has proved himself, at least in this game, showing who's daddy to Jeff's daddy. Because right there, with the Petrify, I mean, we all thought he was down. We all thought he was dead, but he used that Electo Final Blow so cleanly, so perfectly, knows his kill pressure, knows how much damage he can do, and knows that he can take on Jeff's daddy, knows that he can take on that Harith, and Jeth went down. I mean, just in perfect sync, but now they're coming down for revenge.
Well, we are seeing a little bit of more outplay potentially coming out from this Tuna. No, he's going to be taken down by the members. But like you said, Bloodhounds finding a trade. They lose a member on the bot side, but they're going to pick up a turtle on the opposite side of the map. And now, hold up, looks like they're going for the fast clear mid. We could see a bit of a clash, a bit of an engage. Blinks Tyrant's Rage on to Jeff Daddy here. He's going to be caught out with the Magic Ball Sweep. He's going to go ahead and take him out, but the fight's not looking over. Kokomi, uncomfortable position, but he is in the backside. Total partner is going to find Sweeps, and now they have the advantage. Primal Wrath coming out from Savage. They're looking to find a pick, find another kill here. They're not looking to let it go. There goes the Divine Judgment, Judge, Jury, and Executioner. His Blitz is going to be taken down by Savage. The side of Team Time, right on time, and they're going to look to go ahead and press the advantage that they have now enforced onto the team of Bloodhound.
You know, I just noticed something that I probably should have pointed out earlier, but Blink is running the Petrify on this Kufra right now. I don't know if that could be a reason why he's having a little trouble getting away here. He's running 0, 4, and 4. I noticed it a second ago. I'm like, wait, how did they just get petrified? I thought Tuna was the only one with it, but it seems like Blink just picked it up as well. Boca Roscoe, though, coming in with a big stun.
He's filling it with the Blood Ode, but he's out of mana. He's going to have to dip. But look at Tuna.com. We've been saying he's been making plays, but he's going to be taken out by the Torn Apart Memory. Coming up short, as Sleeps is going to take out Savage as well. A 1-for-1 trade so far, but it looks like Bloodhounds is not looking to let the fight go. Magic Ball from Blink, but now he's left all alone, and there it goes, like you were saying, with no flicker. There's no escapability, but he's not looking to run. Tyrant's Rage comes out, but not going to be any follow-up from this Martis. He's going to be isolated and taken down by Jeff's daddy here, and that's going to be another kill, some more advantage going to the side of Team Time.
Oh, but Boca Roscoe is starting to be a thick boy here. He's able to take a lot of damage. Now the minions are in. Should be able to survive it out in this, but here comes Jinyon.
And there goes that counterplay from Lunx, able to burst down those tanky targets. He's going to find one, and now a Torn Apart Memory from Kokomi. He's going to take out Martis, and that's going to be some more advantage to them. They are tearing apart the side of Team Bloodhounds. And you did say Boca becoming a thick boy, but not just there yet. They need to keep that time in mind. This isn't quite where their power spike is.
Most definitely. I mean, and RR also doing a great job keeping vision for his team. Team Time keeping it very tight, right? And we were arguing that Bloodhounds were taking the trades, but maybe Team Time was giving them the trades, right? Because now they're going to get the first Lord of the game. Bloodhounds can't do anything about it.
But there goes that entry from Blink with the Petrify. They're going to find the early kill on Jin Yoon. Now Boca Roscoe trying to find a little bit of entry point. A little good spacing coming out from the disengage from Team Time. They're able to find a pick, though, and that's going to be pretty huge with that Lord coming down. Maybe if they can get it pushed up quick enough to maybe clear before Team Time can regroup and recuperate here.
Yeah, I mean, and we are taking a look at Sleeps, because, like I said, he's going to be a big... Oh, Bocarosco taken out in the mid lane. I think he's getting a little too overconfident. Needs to stop diving in without his team. But back to Sleeps here, right? He's now 3,800 gold behind Kokomi. He's not even going to be... I mean, he should be able to melt down this Lord fast, but again, he is the one that they need. And with him being so far behind right now, I just don't know when Bloodhounds are going to be able to come online, because this is the time when Team Time shines right here. This is the point in the game when they're going to really be able to put a lot of pressure down, and Bloodhounds just don't have an answer to it.
He definitely don't have an answer, but look at Jeff's daddy. He's going for the Zombie Force. Engage here, trying to find something as they do find that tier 2 tower, but hang on. We have a little bit of trouble. Kokomi's going to find Blink there. He's going to be taken down thanks to that Divine Judgment coming out from that Kaja, a key pick-off for the side of Team Time.
Kokomi's a madman right now. The man is insane. 5-0-4. There is no answer for that, right? Bocarosco tries to come in, tries to get a stun. Kokomi just uses that second skill, bounces back. Now you're stunned. Now you're stuck, and the rest of my team is going to finish you off. Same thing if the Martis tries to come in. Same thing if Tuna tries to come in. Everyone's trying to get to the back line to take on Kokomi, but there's just no real answer. And this is where I said, this is what I meant by, I just felt like a long-range mage would have been a little bit better, right? Something like the Farza, something to drop bombs down, install Kokomi a little bit, able to get damage on him without getting in his face, because right now you can't get in his face. There's just too many answers with the Kaja, with Jeth, with Savage and this Edith getting any kind of knock-up. Anyone tries to come in and you get peeled immediately.
You do get peeled immediately and definitely get punished for those dives. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. And with the composition that the side of Bloodhounds has, it's kind of like an open invite for our here. Look, another Divine Judgment coming out for the suppression on Blinks. Jeff Daddy looking to capitalize on that. I mean, he's going to have the damage to burst him out, but it's a good look at what we're talking about, right? With that dive and that engage that they want to go for, it just plays right into the strength of this Kaja.
Most definitely in the Kaja. Once again, Aura, I mean, is 0-1-13, right? So all of them, everyone on the side of Team Time right now. At the beginning, Bloodhounds are making some trades, but now that they've just really taken off, all of them have such a nice gold lead over Bloodhounds that RR can just hang out. He can take some shots. The sustainability of Kaja, it's helpful in the beginning, but when you get into the mid-late phases like this, it is very hard to kill that Kaja, right? You have to lock him down, and he can just do exactly what he's doing now. Harass, poke, keep vision for his team as Kokomi and Just Daddy work away on this lore, but it seems like Bloodhounds might try to make a play here.
They're looking for the pickoff on RR here. Can they take him out? There goes the decimation. They're going to go ahead and take out Kaja now. The Zombie Force has been dropped out by Jeff Daddy. He's not finding any damage just yet, but hang on. Bart is in trouble. If he can take out the jungler, that's going to be huge. Retribution out of play for the side of Team Bloodhound, but Blink finding the trade onto Savage and let the blow coming out from Tuna.com with double kill with the Petrify to Kokomi. Will he be able to take one down with him? No, he will not. Kokomi with the monster kill, the monster skills. He's 6-0-7 and with a torn apart memory. Not going to be able to take out Bocarosco with the Winter Trunks, but that's just to delay the inevitable tricks. That's a full wipeout onto the members of Bloodhounds.
Now to break that down a little bit, right, to show exactly what happened, and this is RR once again in the front line. Yes, he's the first to fall, but Blink wastes the time. Yes, it's a waste in my book. You waste your ultimate for one person, and not even an important person. For Aura, that's his job. I'm going to die for my team. I'm going to waste all of your skills, and then the rest of my team is going to clean up. Bocarosco tried to hang on there, but once again, the damage just isn't there. Yes, you get some nice DPS, but it's going to take a while until he can really make plays happen.
And Trex, there it goes again. Blink going in for that entry, trying to find Kokomi, missed and pulled by the Divine Judgment to lead to another kill. Electro Blow coming out from Tuna.com, but he's all alone. That's a 1v5, and we know how that story is going to end, because he's going to end up here at the caster's desk with us, and again, Bloodhounds down members 3-5 on the map. What an enhanced Luminous Lord coming down. Just error mistakes all over the place coming from this team.
Listen, they're not at my caster desk right now. Nope, they're not allowed right now. Not allowed. But no, I mean, at this point, it could be GG's well played, right? They do still have some damage to maybe take out this Lord. Minions aren't coming too synced in, but it's definitely not going to be easy. Bloodhounds cannot make a single mistake here.
can't make a mistake, but we've seen it time and time again. Will they be able to pick it up, though? There goes the Dominant Force from Daddy, not leading to anything. A Petrify from Blink's Tyrant Range, but keeping on the Winter Trunks, didn't even connect to him. Completely immune to all of that. Harrison's going to go ahead and take out Blink after baiting a foolish mistake. Electable from Tuna.com, but without finding a single target, without finding any damage, he's going to be taken out by Kokomi here. Now he's working on Boca Roscoe, but keeping on Martis. He's trying to hold back 4 members all alone. As Boca Roscoe's taken off up in the top side, and there goes the Nexus, falling to minions, falling to Team Time as Bloodhound runs out of time. They're going to fall 1-0 to start off these scrims.
Time and time again. Easy. I mean, I think Team Time just came in very clean there. And once again, I won't say that I liked Bloodhound's draft, but there was just that one problem, right? A lack of damage by sacrificing that mage and bringing in the Alice. I think it's a good test, right? It's a good try. It's something, you're in a scrim right now. It's the first scrim as well, so you don't have too much to prove. You can still maybe try to come back. But I think with the composition of what they brought, they needed something a bit more bursty. They needed something a bit more aggressive, especially in those early phases, because they did have a nice early phase. They were able to steal some buffs, but eventually that did start to wear away. Because you have this Kaja, you have this Edith, you have Jin Yun on this Lunox who can start to ward you off, especially with the constant threat of that Divine Retribution. So, Team Time waited out, they find their time, and they're able to pull off the win there. Now, we are going to be running into another scrim here. I'm pretty sure we're going to be running another game.
Should be definitely in between these two teams, I would assume.
So yeah, I feel like overall a clean win there by Team Time. Pretty much took their composition to textbook. I like the way that Jeth's Daddy pulls out the Harith there and actually performed like really well here, right? They were able to he was like 0 deaths throughout the first 8-9 minutes almost. I mean, just able to be very clean with it all. And even when he takes those loss in the buffs and everything, he never overextends himself. He knows if he doesn't have the buff. He knows that Bloodhounds is being aggressive, and he knows it's time to back off and then when to re-engage when his spike hits.
Definitely some perfect execution, like you said, coming out from their team. Really knew the windows and the avenues to be able to take up against Bloodhounds. But I'm not going to lie, Bloodhounds kind of made it easy. We saw time and time again, especially from Blinks, with some forced engages that really didn't lead to much other than him being isolated and picked off by RR on the Kaja with the Divine Judgment, just giving the early advantage. I mean, if you give it, why not take it? It's a free 5v4 at that point, and I feel like that's what we saw over and over again from Team Time, just capitalizing on the mistakes of Bloodhounds in those fights.
Your team is banned.
Most definitely. Now we are going to be coming into the second game here. Team Time on the gun this time. I'll never get over that. I'll never get over this team name, but yeah. So they're going to be banning out the Joy here. Drafts may be taking a bit of a change here, but honestly, both teams brought some different things to the table there, right? So didn't show too many cards. So I'm wondering, do the drafts honestly kind of just stay the same here, especially in the first phase?
I would like to maybe see it again, especially from Bloodhounds. Like you said, it felt like they had a pretty decent draft, right? I just feel like it was maybe a difference of execution. There was a lack of maybe knowledge on how the comp worked. You pointed it out earlier on when Alex Boca Roscoe was going in for those engages. All he had was clock and radiant armor, and I think it gave him a false sense of confidence that he could deal with Lunox and Harith in a 1v2 situation, and we were seeing him getting picked off, going for some zones that he just wasn't quite geared up to take up against Team Time. But like we said, it's not that the draft was so bad. I do feel like it was maybe a bit of execution. I would like to see them run it back, maybe adjust a pick here or two, but more so the actual gameplay. Make the gameplay match the composition that you're going for, and go play for those power scaling.
Most definitely. Now, I got to know your opinion real fast, because I'm a little like the Julian, the Arlet, not something we've been seeing too much, but I know the buffs had come, and I know that I'm sure there's some great players out there, but I'm still a little iffy about these bans. I'm sure that it's been a little bit longer now. I know when the patch first happened, no, they weren't like They weren't
Your team
that,
is banned.
but maybe over the past week or so, maybe they're becoming a bit more important, but I'm still I don't know. I'm just a little questioning about it.
Speaking of questioning things, this is interesting. An Xavier ban coming out from the side of Team Bloodhounds here. Maybe a bit of a respect. I'm not sure if there's maybe a known Xavier player there on Team Time. I'd assume so, right? It's a little strange to see an Xavier ban, especially in the first phase. If it hasn't been shown or proven to be a problem,
Your team is
you don't
banned.
typically see that. It looks like Team Time worked some pretty standard things, maybe adjusting a bit to the patch. Like I said, the Julian's up there on the ban. He definitely was impacted, probably the most, I'd say, in a positive way, maybe arguable with Esmeralda, as far as what they got in good trade for buffs. But yeah, Bloodhounds got me questioning a little bit. The R lot, like you said, pretty standard right now for teams to kind of ban it out. It is fresh, it is new, and it's pretty strong. But Xavier, just a head scratch moment, if you will.
Yeah. And I think something important here is Aura on that Kaja, right? I think Bloodhounds need to respect that, and I don't know if it's something that they want to give back over in this first phase, right? Especially not with something to trade. Kaja didn't take like a huge nerf or anything. He was OP before. I think he's still pretty OP now, but instead they go for the Edith ban. I guess they feel like that was a bit more important, and they're going to give over the glue now. At this point, Team Time, I mean, I just feel like right there, looking very strong in this draft right now. I don't know if they're just in Bloodhounds' heads, if Bloodhounds just have some things that they don't want to play against here. But right now, I'm feeling good about Team Time.
100%. And I mean, if Bloodhounds doesn't look to pick up the Kaja, we could see it again. You put the glue over in the XP, strong pickoff, strong early. We know it's still very strong. They nerfed it a little bit, but glue is glue, right? You can't nerf the ultimate. That's the thing. The split leading into the grab, slam, whatever you want to call it, man. And then if you compare that up with the Kaja, that's some strong pickoff potential. We've seen just with RR alone what Team Time could do in terms of pickoff. And if you put that up with a glue, Bloodhounds might be putting themselves in an uncomfortable position. And with a 1-1 out, we could definitely see it.
Ooh. Yeah, and well, the one's a decent answer to the glue, I feel like, right? She has the ability to get out of CC, so if the stun does come on, and a lot of ability to bounce around. So Savage is going to have to kind of be careful here about how he jumps into that back line. And I'm wondering how Tuna, we saw Tuna play a pretty good game last game, right? And on this Yuzong, I think now you have a little bit of an answer to Kokomi, right? The only thing he's going to have to watch out for is RR now on this Franco, which, again, Team Time consistently answering back here, right? Consistently answering back in the draft. Bloodhounds bring something. We have something to answer that with in the Franco. Beautiful peel. Again, we're going to kind of circle around Kokomi here, and that was their plan last game. RR did a great job with it, and no, they didn't pick up the Kaja, but you have basically the same type of suppression here. It's just going to keep you still instead of dragging you, right?
Yep. And I mean, it goes right back to what I was kind of saying. Like you said, it's not the Kaja, but it's a Franco. And those two are one of the same for me. The suppression, just the strongest CC available in the game. Nothing Wanwan can do to either of them as far as purifying the skill. And I feel like they just entice the pick. You gave them glue, lets them lead into the pick-off composition. And then you take Wanwan with Kaja and Franco on the board. Like, I just feel like that should be expected that one of those picks come out. But I guess if they banned out Kaja, we were going to see the same thing unfold with Franco. So maybe nothing they can really do to avoid the suppression. But I don't know. I would have just liked to see it. I feel like maybe there's some better answers for the bans. But speaking of bans, into the second phase, Atlas and Eve taken out for both of these teams. And I kind of like the Atlas because right now, Bloodhounds does have a nice setup for engages and team fights. Fredrin, then you have the Ujon, like you pointed out, with Tuna.com. If he can bring that same performance that he did with the Benedetta, could be a nightmare for Kokomi, like you pointed out earlier on. And with that Atlas, that's three very strong engages. Something of a charge composition, if you will, able to force those fights kind of when they want to. Black Dragon, the energy eruption, and then the perfect match leading into those big fatal links, what we all like to see. It's going to be taken out along with that Carrie and Sicilian. But what are your thoughts on those two bands specifically there, especially Cecile?
I mean, the Sicilian band is definitely a target to Boca, right? We know he's liked to play in the past. I honestly don't think it's that great of a pick. What I thought we were going to see Boca maybe pick up here is the Farza, right? But the problem is it looks great until the Franco comes in, because now you're just a prime target for it. So he's going to have to play something maybe a little bit more mobile. The Lunox is open right now. It could be a great answer to the glue. Could be something that could be very viable. I'm hoping maybe he leans into something of that nature. Instead, they're going to lock in their tank first. Blink locking in Lolita. I do like it. You get a little bit of aggression in the early phase. You can create peel. We know that, I don't know what his name is, but the jungler who played Martez last time, he does have a nice retry battle. And with Lolita around that, you do good in these Lord pits. I feel like you get those stuns in. You have the Numenon Blast as well. And then you add that up with Tuna.com on this Yuzong. I think they could do very well around these neutral objectives. It just, once again, kind of comes down to what Boca Roscoe picks up. Because, hold on.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
You can take that one. You can take that one, man.
Sound the alarm. Team time, man. This has to be a statement, right? A statement pick is maybe what we call it. And Odette entering into a scrim in between two top teams, right? Time and Bloodhounds here. And that's I'm at a loss of words here. This is not what I was expecting to see, Trex.
I'm going to be honest. It's bad for the same reason that a Farza would be bad right now, right? Because any kind of stationary ultimate right now is bad for either team. You have the Franco on the side of Team Time, and then you have this Yuzong, you have this Lolita, you have a Wanwan. You have plenty of people who can capitalize on a stationary ultimate mage, and that is what that Odette is there. Now, yes, you get a little bit of flicker, but still, I don't think it's going to be that helpful. Now, Boca Roscoe, on the other hand, gonna pick up this Valentina, which for some reason she just fled my mind. I think that is a solid pick, especially because you could take the Odette ult still, or you can take that Bloody Hunt. A couple great options for you, and that Bloody Hunt is going to be a great answer to this Karina that Jess Daddy just locked in.
And not just an answer, a wonderful compliment to the composition that Bloodhound said. To say they're loaded with CC is quite the understatement. You got the Yuzong, right? We know what happens with the Furious Dive, with that Petrify. Even the Black Dragon form, a little bit of the knockback action, right? Leading to the CC, Lolita, the stun, the Numium Blast, huge. Valentina with the Terrify, and Fredrin, a walking Petrify, if you will. It's extremely hard to get out of the way of Fredrin without wasting some kind of mobility skill or a spell, if you will, flicker, Purify, something of the sort. Even Wanwan has some CC, right, Trek? So every member of the team loaded with CC. It's really like 6 or 7 CC skills coming out from the side of Bloodhound here. It's going to be extremely hard for Team Time to get in there.
Yeah, just a lot of flexibility, a lot of possibilities for Bloodhounds. I like this draft a bit more. I like Boca Roscoe on this pick a bit more because it's still a in-your-face mage like the Alice, but just so much more opportunity. You still have burst damage. You still have mobility. So I think it kind of brings what you want with the Alice, but it's just a better pick, right? And that's just the reality sometimes. You have a lot of heroes that bring the same thing, but sometimes a certain one is a little bit better, and they're going to bring it in aggressive early on already.
That's a 3-man invade coming out from the side of Bloodhounds here. Blink asserting dominance here on the Jeff's Daddy. Will they be able to secure this retribution? As we did see a kill secured by Savage in the top side. And they're not going to walk with the blue bump, but hang on. Able to find the kill, and Aura with an incredible Iron Hook. Trex, immediate action as we cross over the 1 minute mark.
I'm speechless. I'm honestly speechless. Both junglers died in that one. Fredrin gets caught up by the hook, and Jess Daddy tries to run into the tower, but still taken out. Where the win happens, though, for the side of Team Time is up in the XP lane. Tuna.com gets 1v1 taken out by Savage. And this is... Why wasn't the glue banned? Why did we not prio glue in game 1? I don't care what nerfs happened. Yes, his early game is a little bit weaker, but he is still a dominant hero in the Land of Dawn.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying, like the same with Kaja. Overpowered before, just a little bit of an adjustment. Still the same strong pick that it always was. And that's exactly what we're seeing going on. And speaking of going on, though, some action on both sides. Caught a hook like a second down on the bot side there. Some engagement from both teams. But speaking of things going on, Turtle being worked on by the side of Team Time here.
Yeah, and
Bloodhounds, I mean.
Literally, both teams have the same amount of members on opposite side of the map, so it is a 2v2, but it seems like Jet Daddy may come in. He doesn't want to go for the steal, and this is something that Jet Daddy has been doing. Savage does get picked off there, so now Tuna.com going to be able to even things out a bit. But Jess Daddy does a great job with patience, right? Last game, when he knew he was going to lose a buff, he backed off. He didn't overextend himself. Even there, he knows, I don't want to fight for this turtle. I'm 1 against 2. I'm not going to overextend myself. I'm going to go farm my jungle and try to keep the playing field even. So I got to keep my eyes on him. Even in this upcoming NACT, I think he could definitely be someone we want to watch.
Definitely. And just to bring it back a second here, because I feel like there was some missed opportunities. But hang on, speaking of opportunities, Bloody Hunt coming out with Sprinkle and Suppression, but he didn't have eyes on the rest of the team of Bloodhounds. He's going to be taken out by Boca Roscoe, and now they have taken an advantage on the board 3-2 as far as kills. But I was about to say here, Trix, I feel like we could have seen a +1 potentially, but hang on, they're not going to let me stop me. My point out, Chromie being targeted in the bottom side, Crossbow Tank comes out, but a kill into the hands of Blink. Bloodhounds looking for more, and Team Time needing to respond.
Yeah, RR is going to come in here, try to clear this wave. Nothing too major. Oh, that was bad for Blink. Jet's Daddy.
Uh-oh, and now we're seeing the Shadow Assault come out from Karina, but Reveri's going to find a kill with this Odette with a Swan Song. Now Just Daddy can be able to take down Fredrin, getting some kills on the board. His first kill of the game, and that's going to be the second death for the Fred.
Boca Roscoe is trading off a little bit of gold plating, but Reverie gets the dash plus the flicker, able to deal enough damage to make sure they secure that kill there. So answers back from both teams. Gold still at a dead standstill. I mean, it's 100 to you, 100 to them, 100 to you, 100 to them. But this is the same way it was last game. I think this time, though, Bloodhounds have a bit more cards up their sleeves. Taking a look at Boca Roscoe, he's 2-0-1. Now, Valentina can start packing a punch. She doesn't only have the ability to steal ultimates, but she can output some decent damage.
And speaking of damage, again, Franco going for the early Bloody Hunt, but at what cost? Is he going to be taken out by Boca Roscoe once again? Needs to start making sure that the Bloody Hunt isn't going to be interrupted. He's going to be collapsed on because he's free food during that animation.
Definitely free food. And another thing that Bloodhounds are doing a bit different this time is focusing on that gold lane, but Reverie
focusing on the Odette and canceling out the ultimate coming out from the Swan Song will not be heard, but is he going to be able to escape? Or Praise Wrath barely going to miss, but Just Daddy's HP's falling low, and here comes a Million Blast. But Blue, with the split is going to be able to pick him up, but there's no one there to go ahead and secure the damage. Tuna going to be hawking underneath the tower, though, with the Fierce Dive, though, with Petrify looking at locking on Kokomis. He's going to turn this around and find kill here. He can, yes, he will! The Savage is going to be taken out by the crossbow team on the side of Team Bloodhound.
A lot of great plays from Bloodhounds there. Even minuscule things, right? Blink gets stopped for a second. We think Savage is going to make a huge play. He uses his first skill dash so he doesn't run into the bomb. Able to survive a little bit longer until Sleeps gets to the crime scene and is able to get a kill onto Savage. Not only that, but Tuna.com making huge plays on the bot side. I mean, Bloodhounds really finally taking advantage in this game. They've turned a standstill of gold into a 3,000 lead in a matter of a minute and a half.
And, you know, on the topic of Tuna.com, right, previously they did have Dino running that XP, but I feel like Tuna.com, so far what we've seen is definitely a step in the right direction. I was kind of questioning if there was going to be someone able to fulfill what Dino kind of brought to the team of Bloodhounds, but I feel like he was a great part of their personality, but it seems like Tuna.com is coming alive and fitting in well with the members of Bloodhound. But speaking of members, down on the bot side, a lot of numbers grouping up from the side of Team Time, looking at this blue buff, but hang on. Kokomi, Tuna getting into a little bit of the action. Black Dragon, though, he's going to look to send back onto Kokomi. He doesn't have the mobility. Will he be taken out? Flicker is still on cooldown. When the crash comes down, he will be able to potentially find the kill, and yes, he will! And now, the Bloody Hunt coming out, looking to slow down Tuna.com, and there goes Revere with the Swan Song, but not enough damage as Tuna is going to look for the double, the 1v2 there. They're going to isolate the fight, but now Fredrin looking for plays. But look at Tuna.com, he's being isolated. Shadow Assault comes out from Just Daddy. He's going to take him down, and now Fredrin all alone using the Retribution. He's going to pick up the kill onto this Odette, looking for the turnaround of 1v1 jungle versus jungle, but it's like maybe he doesn't want to take it. He is low HP, but Just Daddy says, get back over here, where are you going? But Fredrin able to go ahead and escape and disengage. His Bloodhound is going to find a tower on the top side.
Yeah, they're making plays all over the map, right? Tuna.com, you're talking about him, and I feel the same way, right? Even there, he knows his limits right now. He knows that he can take on 2. He's not worried about the Bloody Hunt. They're in the comms. He knows that Fredrin is coming as well, so he has enough time, and as long as he can buy that time, they're going to be able to win out in the trade, and they end up doing that. Not only that, but they bring so much pressure down to that bot side that Sleeps and Blink are able to take another tower away. So Bloodhound's playing a completely different game than last time. I don't know if it's just composition, if it's the smoothness, what happened, but they're bringing bringing some pressure into game 2.
I 100% the draft switch is a lot better, so much more utility, but able to stack up that damage as well. The Iron Hook is going to be blocked out by the Bulwark. Still there coming out from Blink. Well timed from him. I don't know if that was prediction or a sixth sense, Spidey senses, but it was good. But hang on, it looks like there's going to be a fourth engage. Blink puts conceal, going for the Numian Blast, but there's a glue right in front of you. It's going to be canceled, but it is going to provide just enough to pick up that tier 2 tower. Just to get back on the tuna there, Trex. I mean, you talked about this, about him being able to apply that pressure to Kokomi, and right now, he's 0-3 on the Brody, 2 deaths falling into the hands at Tuna with this Yuzhong, and we're definitely seeing that win condition kind of breeze through for the side of Bloodhounds here in these team fights.
Most definitely doing a great job. But Savage with those stuns, stopping the Numen on blast, he's been there like every time. We haven't really got to see Blink land like an amazing Numen on blast just yet, because every time Blink tries to cock it up, Savage is there to stop him in his tracks. It's happened 2 or 3 times now. So Team Time still in the microseconds of those small skirmishes, they're able to make the right plays happen. But eventually, the gold is going to escape them. Bloodhounds is going to get a little bit too ahead. And I feel like this time it's the opposite of last game. This time, Bloodhounds have all the answers. And the Valentina just kind of, put the cherry on the cake there. It was the final thing to seal the deal. Being able to take that bloody hunt was so crucial.
It definitely was, but hang on here. Maybe a potential for a clash on the bot side. Looks like Team Time just going to force Bloodhounds to reroute and back away as they're going to go ahead and disengage across the river. But hang on, another Iron Hook check almost caught Blink. And that's going to be some good scouting from RR. I like that he's not face checking and using the Iron Hook to its max potential to check those bushes.
Yeah, at this point, Team Time is just grouping up. We're staying together. We can't take the opportunity to take any picks, and I like it. They've had to sacrifice some towers. They've had to give up some material, but it's what they need to do at this point of the game. They have a nice position right now. Lord is going to come up. The question on everyone's mind is going to be, are they going to try to make a play for it? Right now, with all the minions coming down on the top side, the mid side, they have to split up finally, clear this wave, macro, and they have no time to, because Sleeps just melts down that Lord.
And I feel like this is a bad call. They're going to look to take out Blink from the Lolita and not even finding the kill just yet. Daddy's going to overextend so far, but the crossbow cannon has been unlocked by Sleeps. He's taking out the members of the side of Team Time. He's found 1, he's found 2. Will he be able to find a third? That's going to be a kill into the side of Savage, and now he's looking to go ahead and still kill the third. A Petrified coming out, and that's going to be a third kill for Sleeps, a mega kill and a mega steamroll from the side of Bloodhounds. They're running away with this one, Trex.
When this game started, Bloodhounds decided to focus on the gold lane a little bit. They wanted to slow down Kokomi because they knew the problem he was in game 1, and they knew that Sleeps is important to their team. Sleeps had a very rough game in game 1. This time, the shoe's on the other foot. This time, Sleeps is 4-0-4, while Kokomi is 0-3-0, and we are seeing the difference it makes. We're seeing that Sleeps can make some plays happen.
And now here comes Revere with the Swan Song, looking to split the fight up a little bit. They're going to be able to take one down. It's going to be an early kill. Blink's going for the Numian Blast, not going to be interrupted. They're going to find Kokomi, and now the crossbow tank has been unlocked by Sleep, so he's going to pop it onto Just Daddy, but the rest of the members of the Team Time just out of range to not go ahead and let that kill chain be unleashed. But speaking of unleashed, mid inhibitor, a little open. Lord being the distraction up in the top side. Sleep could look to take this down, but they do pop the pass away. Hang on, flick from Aura. He's going to miss, and that's utility down. Now the engage for the Bloody Hunt is out of the way, Trex. That's so huge.
That is huge, and Sleeps once again. It's funny, in that last big play, he holds on to that. Wait a second. Nothing too major. I think Bloodhounds are going to back off, but he holds on to that crossbow tank to the last second because he's like, do I really want to use this now? But Frederin's about to go down to Just Daddy, so he's like, fine, I'll use it. But it just goes to show he's not just blowing his load immediately. He is waiting. He's being patient with it. And finally, he does pop it off when the time calls for it, right? So making right plays. And at this point, they're going to start giving all the buffs to him, right? He's got a huge lead over Kokomi. Kokomi's sitting at a gold right now of only 7,500. And when we take a look at Sleeps, almost 10K. He's almost maxed out on items. He's got 2 more slots to go, and I like the build, right? You've got the Corrosion Scythe, you've got the Scarlet Phantom, you've got everything you need to do some nice damage, and now he just needs to start getting a little bit of defense in.
We see a Furious Dive coming out from Tuna.com, able to pop the Black Dragon. The Numian Blast on the wall. looking for a pick off on Reviri. Black Dragon still going on. They're going to go ahead and force the members back. But look at this Frederick assuming position here. Going to take a lot of damage from Kokomi. He's going to be taking out the sweeps. Looking to maybe potentially trade it out. Going to bounce back, dip and dash with those auto attacks. But over the wall goes Roscoe looking for the kill on Kokomi. Going to come up just short, flickering back over. That is going to force the recall. Good shield from Blink to go ahead and stop that Iron Hook from connecting. And with those picks being made, that's going to be an opportunity for this Lord that's spawning in.
Oh, how the tides have turned. Bloodhounds taking a huge lead on this game. We're about 13 minutes in. It's a 7K gold lead for Bloodhounds. They have everything they need to fight for this Lord, but they're not going to try to rush it. And Jess Daddy also not going to give it over. Team Time also does have the potential. They have pick pressure, right? With this Franco, all you need is one. One hook can change a game, and that is the scary thing about a Franco. Even if a team's losing the way they are, you get one good hook before a Lord fight. In a crucial situation like this, everything can come, and here comes a conceal play.
They're looking for Tuna.com. There goes the flicker and the bloody hunt. Can Bloodhounds be able to respond on time? Tuna's going to be taken out by the 24 memory. Kokomi being able to blow that load like you said. And now Boca Roscoe looking for a trade, but look at where he's at in between three members. He's going to be taken out. Double kill. Numian Blast going to find one, but Kokomi's still alive. Angela Sleeps finds him. And now a monster kill for him. Will he be able to find the crossbow tank? Fraser Raft comes down. They're going to be able to take out our double kill for the gold laner for Bloodhounds. And again, finding those picks and now room on the board to go ahead and pick up this important wolf.
I mean, it was the right play, right? I think they literally did exactly what I said. The only problem was I think I would have rather seen it with an Iron Hook. They use up that bloody hunt, and then it's like Bloodhounds are like, fine, you can have him because we have that much more gold than you, and all of us still have our ultimates that we're just going to clean things up. Kokomi does a great job at being at such a deficit, able to take out Boca Roscoe there, but still just not enough. I think they needed to be the ones to react and not be the ones to attack in that situation.
And I couldn't agree more. And to further add on to that, even with that good play, right, with Conceal, able to find a pick, you lose the suppression, which means you lose the target for 1-1. And not just that, there was a lot of wave pressure from the bot side. Revere trying to clear that out. Not with the numbers on their side, but speaking of pressure, top side, wave crashing in. Numian Blast coming out from Blink. Who's going to stop him? He's going to go for the flicker, not going to find anyone, but they are able to find a pick off on Revere, and now looking for a second. We do note the crossbow tank has been unleashed, and there it goes, trying to find more. But Tuna with the Black Dragon from the backside here, looking to go ahead and help out the members of Bloodhounds Academy. Kokomi is going to go ahead and front flip off his forehead, but he's going to be traded out by Blink, who just picked up a double kill in the middle of this fight. But forget the double kill. Now we're going to go ahead and look up to even up this series after they wipe out the members of Team Tom.
A beautiful game by Bloodhounds, finally turning the tables. They had a really rough start in game one, but they're showing that they are here to play and doing a great job at that. Now, the question is, how is game three going to go, right? But before we jump into that, taking a look at everything here, Jess Daddy once again does a great performance. RR also does a great performance, but I got to say, I think the real tide of this battle was changed when Bloodhounds decided to focus on Kokomi, put him at a huge deficit, and put Sleeps at the advantage. And it was the same thing for last game except the other way around. So I'm wondering in game three, do both teams just really hover down in that gold lane?
And you know what? That has been kind of the tale, right? You kind of pointed it out, the reverse of fortune there in the gold lane. It seems like whoever getting that assistance is definitely winning out as the MVP does fall into the hands of Sleep. And we saw with that good positioning on those gold lanes, helping that marksman get online definitely paid out for him as he did finish with a flawless game, 9-0 and 8 to kind of pave the way for the members of Bloodhound.
Most definitely. Now jumping into game three, Bloodhounds will be back on to first pick here. I mean, they were able to win that game. I think this time, Team Time are the ones who need to kind of calculate things, right? I still think that the glue is a great pick. Savage was able to get some great 1v1s against Tuna.com in the early phase. I think the problem that happened is Bloodhounds were able to switch lanes early on because they were able to take some towers early on. So I think this time, if that lane switches happens, Team Time needs to answer back immediately. They can't let Tuna.com just reign free wherever he wants. Savage always has to be there to meet him.
Definitely needs to be there to be able to meet him. And, you know, both sides of the lanes, I'm glad you kind of brought up Savage there. I feel like not only is the gold lane has been kind of critical for these teams, but their XP lane is as well. And right now, I'm feeling, as far as the XP, now that you bring up Savage, Tuna.com he's doing a magnificent job. I know we kind of already gave him his flowers, gave him his praise, but it just has to be stated again, especially as the newer player for the team of Bloodhounds. And I mean, this is very new. Like a week or two ago, ahead of NACT, picking him up, and he's coming alive in these scrims for the team. And not just coming alive, but being like a pivotal part of this team, of this roster. You can see that he was definitely meant to be on a team with this caliber and living up to the name that Bloodhounds has kind of established for themselves in the community.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the past 2 games, win or loss, when I think about any players that made things happen, it was either Tuna or Sleeps, right? When I think about anyone that made me go, holy crap, it was Tuna or Sleeps. So Tuna, definitely someone to keep our eyes on. I'm wondering what he's going to pick up this play. Are we going to see the hero pool go even deeper? Because we saw the Beatrix, even at losing, he was able to pull off some sweet moves. And then we see the Yuzong. So maybe we see him pick up the glue, for himself this time. Maybe we see him pick up something that applies a lot of pressure early on here. But it all comes down to how this draft goes. Bloodhounds not switching things too much up. They're going to still ban out the Xavier. This time they put the Eve up front on the side of Team Time. They don't want to deal with that Fredrin again. Even though it wasn't anything super flashy, it still helps secure those objectives and put pressure on in the early phase of the game.
And while we're talking about those bans, they take out Brody, and I'm not really sure if I agree with that. I feel like I would have put more trust in Tuna.com again to get the job done. We saw him capitalize with that counter pick. You talked about it at draft. The Black Dragon able to deal with a marksman as a mobile as Brody. We saw him 0-3, 2 of those kills coming at the hand of Tuna.com. I would have let that go again and kind of let Tuna prove himself out there on the battleground that he is great at finding the backlines. But speaking of backlines, Tuna.com getting the joy tricks.
That's why. And when your first pick, you have the I always say you have the opportunity to leave some things open for yourselves, and you put the pressure onto the red side, right? You make them decide, are you going to waste one of your bans on the Joy? And by doing that, especially with the way the Bloodhounds have been banning, they're not banning like super priority picks, right? The Eve is very good. The Xavier, we've been saying it the whole time, it's And now the Brody. We are going to push Kokomi's limits because we've only seen him play the Brody so far. So now it's Bloodhound saying, well, let's see what else you can really play here. Let's see what else you can bring against Sleeps here. With the Wan gone, we're going to fire right back at you now. The Julian also open there. So now we can possibly finally see why they've been banning it.
And it's definitely interesting to note, you said blue side able to leave some things open for themselves, but same case for the red, you're able to get those 2 response picks, 2 swingbacks, if you will, to go ahead and go up against that core pick for the side of Bloodhounds. But I do feel like that first pick, Joy, definitely a nod to Tuna.com, like we've been saying. To go ahead and prioritize your XP for the first pick, open up something for him. I think it speaks volumes for how they value him. Definitely looking to build around him as they are going to prioritize his pick for the draft. But we can't sleep. Glue has been unlocked. We kind of talked about it when it got let through last time. Kind of a head scratcher, a little bit of a nuisance. But it looks like Bloodhounds is going to be able and capable to maybe deal with it. With this Joy, because that is going to be the matchup we're probably going to see in the XP lane, Tuna versus Savage, and Tuna.com right now, like you said, win or lose, kind of edging out a little bit in that matchup.
Most definitely. And I think the real thing that I'm wondering about is this Julian, right? My guess is it definitely goes, it's either mid or jungle. Bokarosco picks it up either way. With that picked in, and with the Joy, once again, Bloodhound's kind of looking a little bit squishy, similar to first game. Yes, they have some power picks, but they're going to need something to round out their composition here. They need something, I think, bulky for their tank, something that can kind of stop things. And then they need Blink as well. Blink has already been picking up more fighter junglers. Does he go back to the Martis here? Does Team Time ban that out and push his limits? A lot of questions on the board as we creep into the second phase of bans.
And I'm definitely, there's strong picks from the side of Bloodhounds, right? But strong picks don't necessarily win games. It definitely comes to what you build for the draft, what your composition looks right. And right now for Bloodhounds, it just looks like a lot of flashy damage, right? Nothing really too stable to hold this composition. Last time we saw them prioritize and load up with utility. They were stacked. They were running almost a mobile mechanic shop, all the tools you need to get things done and get it fixed and break down the side of Team Time. It looks like now Team Time is getting that with that glue, with that Lolita. You get the split, you get the Nomium Blast. And I really kind of got a little nervous with the side of Bloodhounds. with that Lunix locked right now, it's currently in the hands of Kokomi. You said we haven't seen him play anything else. They banned out the Brody and they banned out even the Clint, but with that still in his hand as the gold laner, they might have wasted some bans here. Maybe not the Brody, but that Clint. And we saw the carry matchup against carry. Kokomi definitely has the winning pick right now. And with that Lolita as well to answer against Sleeps, this could be a very bad, sticky situation. No offense there, Glue, but that could be a sticky situation there for Sleeps on the carry to match up in this game.
Yeah, I think they're putting all their bets on the fact that Kokomi's not going to run this Lunox in the gold, right? I think they're putting a lot into the fact that they just think that's not going to happen. It is definitely possible to happen, and we have to see. And they are taking their time for this last ban, so they're thinking about that, right? Like, do we do another marksman, or do we maybe hone into jungle here? Do we maybe hone into something else here? Those are their only two options. They're going to ban out the Lilia, so they cover both sides of the bases, and I think the Lilia, decent ban, especially because of their squishiness right now, because of their lack of stoppage in the mid lane. But Jess Daddy going to lock in the Leomord, and they're going to keep the side of Bloodhounds guessing for that gold lane.
And you know that, I mean, the fact that they even banned Lily, it just lets me know that what Time is doing right now in the draft is working. They banned out the Brody, they locked the Lunix. We're not sure if that's going gold lane. Let's ban out the Clint. And then for the last ban, we're not even sure if Lunix is going mid, so let's ban out the Lilia as well. And you can see just those 3 bans alone are really messing with the side of Bloodhounds, and you can see the flexibility coming out from Team Time. In Game 1, we talked about the flexibility. They didn't really utilize it then, but here in Game 3, with everything on the line, 1-1, this game provides the winner. Looks like now they're going to go ahead and call in that flexibility, and we're going to get to see how deep can Kokomi's bag get. Potentially, there's still one more pick. They could still flex it to mid, but right now, looking poised and ready to go to the gold.
And they pick up a little bit of CC, a little bit of stoppage with that Edith. Same thing with the Akai. So you do have some answers to this Leomord, right? If he tries to come in, you have some ways to push back and create space for Sleeps on this carry. So we finally did get a little bit of glue to seal together the side of Bloodhounds, right? I still feel like there's some problems. Joy, going to be a lot in the backside. I feel like the rest of the team is a lot more tight, composed. So Tuna.com is going to... Oh, we are seeing a final swap here. Is Blink going to run on this Joy? I'm a little confused. Right now, Tuna.com sitting on the Edith. Wondering exactly how this is all going to pan out before the game starts.
I mean, with it in Blink's hand, I love to note that this is potentially going to be a Rome? Joy paired up with a Julian mid?
No.
The double J?
Please no.
The Jujitsu Kaisen collab unofficially? I mean, that's rough. That's
interesting. It's not rough. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It's interesting for now. It could potentially
maybe Tuna's playing Rome.
rough.
Maybe Tuna's playing Rome. Maybe they're gonna swap. Maybe they're gonna swap sides. Maybe Blink will still. Maybe Tuna doesn't feel confident on the Joy and EXP. That's my possible other guess. We're following Joy.
Tuna's heading down the bottom
that's it.
lane. Oh, there it goes. Our worst fears or maybe our greatest dreams are unfolding right in front of us.
Hey man, well we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a Joy Roam. Excited to see how it plays out. They can create some pressure, but the thing is I like the Edith in the mid lane because it answered the problem with having the squishiness, right? At this point, Boca Roscoe and Blink are kind of prime targets for Jeth's daddy on this Leomord. Kind of prime targets for Reverie, for, I mean, everyone on the side of Team Time. It's going to be a bit of a problem. I think Team Time needs to press an early aggressiveness. They need to try to pick them off because they have that power spike in this laning phase. They have CC, and the moment that Jeth's daddy hits level 4, let's hit the gas. The moment that Reverie hits level 4 and gets that feathered airstrike, let's hit the gas. They have the possibility to do that here.
And you know, when we look back at the composition, right, that Bloodhounds has opted in for with that Joy Roam, I'm always excited to see new things. I really love seeing fresh ideas and new perspectives in the draft, and then where roles are kind of slotted to those picks. But it's one of those things where it's great to experiment, but how far do you push the line? How far do you push the envelope when it comes to experimenting? Because, like you said, there's a lot of ways for time to be able to push the gas here, use like some of those picks, but what's the clear win condition, right, for the side of Bloodhounds? How are you going to be able to execute it? And looking at Sleeps here,
that's it.
Maybe that is it, right? It's just Sleeps, but it's just how do you get Joy involved? How do you get Blink involved? What is his role on the roam? We know typically as the XP you go for the backline, but he's in roam right now. You're up against Lolita. How do you win out that roam battle against the set tank with Joy?
Yeah, I mean, normally I would say that the Joy would be the answer to Reverie, right? The answer to the Pharsa, but my worry is that the damage is not gonna be there since you picked up this roam boots, right? So that's going to end up being a problem. Blink, you're already kind of a lack of damage hero. It takes a bit to... big stun.
And I mean, right there, Trex. What was Blink able to do? Just dashing around, and there's a whole Numium Blast, Feather Airstrike going on, and Sleeps. He can't count on the Joy. There's nothing the Joy can provide as the roam to prevent that. That can happen all game.
Yeah, and I would say that, like, all right, you have Boca to maybe get the knock up onto Reverie as well. But the thing is Blink is so fast with these stuns that Boca Roscoe can't keep up, right? But wait a second, bit of a fight in the mid.
We are seeing the Phantom Speed, but like you said, that heavy spin trying to go ahead and slow down and contain Just Daddy, but over on the top side, Blink needs to be careful. Kokomi looking for the all-in on Blink and Sleeps. They do find the damage. Now you see the reroute. Look at the mechanics coming out from Reverie here. The Mage for Team Time, right on time with the flashy plays.
That was beautiful. Now Sleeps 0, 2, and 0. And yes, carry's good, but with the nerfs becomes a bit more, she doesn't have the early game impact that carry did in M4 or in previous times. So at this point, being 0, 2, and 0, you're at a huge disadvantage. Not only that, but Kokomi now has the advantage. And Blink's going to try to do something here, but as we said, it's just not there, right? And I don't know. It's looking gruesome for Bloodhounds here. I'm trying to think of the answer, but now I feel like they've kind of lost those possibilities. We're talking about a late game for Bloodhounds to pop off here.
And I mean, it really comes down to what is enabled as we're going to go ahead and go into this pause. I'm going to give us a moment to really break this down a little bit further, but with Blink on the Joy, right, the roam position is just so impactful. It's so important. And I think it goes without saying, it's normally where a lot of the utility goes, whether that's for sets, whether that's for the healing, right? Whether it's for enhancing mobility, right? With something like a Mathilda, maybe some kill potential, like normally you see like maybe a Kadita, right? Or like a Roam Natalia, but Joy doesn't check any of these boxes in the roam category, even for maybe vision. I mean, I guess you could go just dash around the map and, really can't get punished, but you could do that with a lot of picks and still check out the rest of those boxes. So I just feel like while there was some innovation here, let's get a little weird, let's get a little funky to maybe throw off the side of Team Time, you have to be realistic as well with what you get from these picks that you slot in.
Yeah, I just feel like they would have been fine putting the Edith on roam. I don't know. I don't want to dig too deep and like rub their face in the mud here. I'm just confused, Bloodhounds. I'm sorry, but on the side of Team Time, I think as long as they keep playing the way they're playing right now, they have the possibilities. Jeff hasn't gotten a kill under his belt just yet, so he may not completely snowball, but as long as he keeps on farming, he has that opportunity. Luckily, Bloodhounds did get the first turtle, but I don't think that Team Time is going to sacrifice the second one. Now they have a slight gold lead, only 1,000, but still something, and everyone is level 4. Everyone is ready to go on the side of Team Time. I think they're going to really start pushing for these neutral objectives, and the only real answer that Bloodhounds have in this early phase is that heavy spin. So a lot of pressure coming down to Akai here in Game 3.
And, it's very interesting. I kind of want to take it back to what you pointed out, right? For the side of Bloodhounds, their composition, it's going to rely on Sleeps here on the carry, but he's already 0 and 2. He's the only 2 kills in this game, actually. Matter of fact, and a lot of that coming from what we kind of harped on about with the roam choice, but it's going to be extremely hard. We'd already pointed out at the draft, with that Lunux being matched up in the gold lane, and we've seen it time and time again out in M4, being kind of the winning favorite out, as far as the lane, at least. When you look at it, Kokomi definitely having the upper hand. And then with the Pharsa, right? Abusing that range. We know Carry is very short range when it comes to being a marksman. Speedy Light Wheels, you got to be very close. But look at what's there when you do get in close. You have Savage on Glue. There's potential to be hit by the split. Then you even have Liam with the Phantom Steed, wrong step, and you're getting sent to the graveyard here. And even then, even if you try to play safe, Revere with the Farsa can just zone you out, keep you out of the fight, or damage you join in. But speaking of fights, a little bit of engage, a little bit of gank coming in from the side of Bloodhound. They're going to come up empty-handed. Nothing to be earned from that. His Turtle is going to be picked up by the side of Team Tom.
Yeah, I mean, Lunox is definitely not someone you want to try to trade the Turtle for, right? You have the Brilliance, you have so much escapability, especially at this phase of the game, and with the lack of CC that Bloodhounds have, but Bloodhound's still going to push for this.
And speaking of push, heavy step from the backside to cancel out, but Anumian Blast has found Sleeves. He's been stunned. Not going to be able to follow up, though. One more stun from RR. Kai needs to be careful. He's very low. The Speedy Light Whistle Sleeps out of the bush. Hello! He's going to be able to find a kill. His first kill on the game on the board there, but a Fantasy coming out from Jeff Daddy. Going to come out here from the bush. Not going to be able to find a kill just yet. Finds the gold crab, but hang on, he's looking for more. Knows the recoil in the bush. A tower dodge for the 1v2. Can he get it done? No, he can't. A foolish mistake from the Horseman coming from Team Time.
Now, if Team Times makes mistakes like that, Bloodhounds could come back in this. You just gave a kill and an assist back to Sleeps, and whether you like it or not, a carry still does a lot of damage when you activate that Speedy Light Wheel. And with Kokomi using that Brilliance earlier, there was no way to escape, so I love the positioning from Sleeps there. Once again, Bloodhounds, even when they're losing a bit, they can still make some plays happen. So Team Time need to know who they're up against, know that they can't get too cocky in this, and they have to play a tight game like they did in Game 1.
Right. I mean, these are still, two top teams. You can't just play like you said, making those mistakes, because that is exactly how you let teams get back in the game, and you don't want that to happen. They still have a little bit of a gold lead, but hang on here. Akai dashing into the bush with a headbutt, not going to have that available. He might need a heavy spin out of here. He's going to go ahead and put it down onto Lolita. That's going to be some major utility down from him, and Trek's eye on that turtle timer, less than 20 seconds, but an engage coming in, because Homie and Just Daddy are going to go ahead and go for the ping pong. They're going to finally kill the both Roscoe, and now Numian Blast. This could be a huge dose, going to be canceled out, but not before Kokomi can take out this Joy, and now Feather Airstrike coming out from Revere. Kokomi looking to stack it on as well with the Chaos Assault. Will they be able to take out a Kai Revere over the wall? By wings, the flipper. He's going to find him, but he's out of mana now. Sleep looking to trade it out, but look at the Bulwark Shield. Going to negate the damage. Good read from RR. Kokomi over the wall is going to force Sleeps back. And now a Turtle up for grabs from the side of Team Time.
Sleep's trying. He's trying right now. He's making some plays happen, but the problem is Kokomi, every time Blink comes in, it's like, yeah, I'm going to try to go for the black line like a Joy would normally do, but Kokomi just shreds him down, and there's no damage there. You don't even have time to get your ultimate off, and even if Blink does, hold on a second, Kokomi might finally get caught off here. Brilliance comes out.
He is escaping trouble again, and you talked about it. It's so hard to take him down when you have that Brilliance ult. They were this close, but it's just one of those moments, just a ha-ha, you tried, you thought, but I'm going to survive this gank, and that's just what we've seen for about the second or third time now from Komi on this Lunox.
Yeah, and another one, Boca Roscoe, we're still waiting for him to make a big play happen. And I think without the CC of a Roam, Jeff Daddy going to come in. Blink should be able to get away from this. Nothing too big happening. But until I think Edith can get involved in these big team fights, Bloodhounds aren't going to be able to make any big plays. No big combos, right? You got a bunch of protagonists on the team, but no one to really make things happen for those big hitters.
And what are we seeing right now? A heavy spin from Akai, so unnecessary and not leading to much. Now the utility gone. But look at Blinks, maybe looking to make a play, but a Numian Blast from the bush. RR going to miss the mark. Finds Akai just a little bit, but no one can be able to follow up. A Feather Airstrike coming out from Revere on this far. So a lot of utility being used for these teams, not finding much. Boca Roscoe over the bush trying to find something with the enhanced lives there, but here comes the split. They're going to go ahead and find. There goes the slam into the tower. Boca Roscoe's HP's falling. He's going to be able to escape. Savage working on him slowly but surely. He's going to be taken out now. Thanos is coming out from Jeff Daddy into the lane, looking to make some stepsons out from the team of Blood Hunt. As they are going to find a tower, though, up in the top side, courtesy of Kokomi on this Lunox here.
I mean, that's just 3 members in the mid lane. They literally have RR and Kokomi up in the top side, bullying Sleeps. They don't need all 5 to go against 4 of them, but Bloodhounds, Tuno.com is going to be the next to fall here. Jess Daddy finally picking up some kills here on the map. Lord has just spawned. The gold lead is looking quite substantial for the side of Team Time.
Oh, that's two pickoffs ahead of this Lord that just spawned in. But you know what, Trex? That was a very creative combination. Split leading into the Feather Airstrike to go ahead and take down Boca Roscoe down there in the, or Tuna, I mean, in that mid side. A pretty nice play is now Team Time using that Luma to max potential to go ahead and try to burst out this Lord. But it looks like maybe Bloodhound's still going to make the play, but it's a little too slow and a little too late. They're just standing around here. I don't know what they're waiting for. They're looking to let Time go ahead and take them down piece by piece here. Now Kai's in trouble. Repeated slam by slam from Blue, and he's going to lock him down for Kakoma to go ahead and take him out. They're going to look to take the tower. Jeff Daddy going to look to the zone. Still has the Phantom Steed in hand. It just disappeared, and now maybe look for a little bit more. Keep an eye on Sleeps, though. He needs to be careful. Could be locked out, could be targeted. There goes the Steed Light Wheels. They're going to look to go ahead and take out Lolita of all things with the Bulwark Shield. Kakoma's going to go ahead and take out Blink, and now Sleeps all alone again, and here comes the Million Blast. Forced to flicker. And right there, I mean, there it goes. We're seeing it again, but it's Boca Roscoe. He's going to take the 1v1 surprise ambush from the bush, but there goes Blue looking to trade that out with Flicker. Savage is not going to let that go unanswered. He's going to be flipped and dipped by Tuna.com on Edith, but it's not going to lead to too much. He is still in the split form, still looking to evade, and now here comes the slam. Phantom Steve in the Council combination for the Ruby DD combo, though. Heavy's going to come out from Kai, not going to find anyone, just looking for the disengage, but look, hold up, Primal Wrath return, doing a lot of damage, not going to find him with Blink. He's going to look to connect. He's looking like Lancelot out there with the puncture skill. There goes the electrifying beat, but that mixtape is not working. It's going cardboard in its first week as far as sales. They're going to go ahead and take him down 1-3. The roamer is for Bloodhound.
I mean, Bloodhounds do defend the Lord, right? But they lose a lot there. That 3K gold deficit just turned into 8K. Team Time just hammering in more and more. And every time they do make a play, Boca Roscoe is able to take out Reverie there. But Savage has his number. And I mean, he finds him every moment. Boca Roscoe having a very rough game in Game 3, 1-3-0. Tuna.com hasn't been able to get too involved in all of this because he hasn't been able to move around. He's been stuck down in this bot lane, and instead of having a mobile hero like the Yuzong or the Beatrix, he's on this Edith. So he's just not able to be involved here. Blink goes in once again, shattered down. I mean, it's the problem is clear as day.
It definitely is. And speaking as clear as day, Akai clearly in trouble. Can be taken out by Kakomi. Even with the heavy spin being utilized, they're just falling. 2 members down. And now Team Time know they're in good position to maybe be able to push for a little bit more. They're going to find the tier 2. Will they go for the inhibitor? Time will tell. Looks like they are going to be forced it. Tuna.com needs to be careful. Kakomi dashing in. Sleeps dropped low. They are rotating down to that bot side of the map here. Not going to be able to find a play just yet. Savage trying to find anything to happen on Tuna.com. Looks like they're going to go ahead and disengage now. Not going to overextend and overcommit to anything. But hang on. Tuna.com finding a little bit of a knock-up here. Primal Wrath has been called out. Phantom Steed, though, from Jeff Daddy and Feather Airstrike going to drop members. Whoa! Kakomi walking into Tuna.com. He's going to force him to log out now. Savage is going to have to be forced to flicker outside of that tower, but that's going to be a pickoff into the favor of Team Time. 1-0 advantage. Now they're providing a little bit of damage to that mid inhibitor.
Coco me. I don't know if it's Kokomi or Kokomi, but either way, the man is a monster right now. 7-0-4. If he has it, if you give him the space to farm, like we saw in Game 1, or the space to farm and go deathless like we're seeing now, there's just no answer. And not only that, but a Lunox with this much farm, a Lunox from the gold lane, not a mid lane Lunox, but a gold lane Lunox, there's nothing you can do about it. The damage is inevitable, the escapability is inevitable with the brilliance, and there's just, I mean, Bloodhounds has no answer for this right now.
They definitely don't. And speaking of no answers, we just saw it again. That split combination with the Feather Airstrike, able to take out Boca Roscoe there. Been a nice little bread and butter for them for those pickoffs. And with no response to that, not able to stop that, but hang on. Severe needs to be careful. Akai with some sus positioning here, trying to find maybe a sneaky heavy spin. Members position everywhere. Even Jeff Daddy in a little bit of a spot here, maybe for a backside Phantom Steed. But it's going to be a Cold War as Lord's pushing down the mid side.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of time. Team Time has done. Oh, no. Oh, there goes that heavy spin.
And he finds Kakomi there. It's finally taking him down, but Tuna.com looking to be turned out by Jeff Daddy. In the backside, though, Blink trying to make a play onto Revere, but the flicker's coming out, and now the damage is being stacked on. He's going to be forced out. But it looks like maybe they have a bit of an opening to be able to defend against this Lord. Blink going to be sent back all the way back to base to heal. Will they be able to hold this Lord here, or will this mid inhibitor fall? It looks like the side that Team Time wants to go down. That charge passive comes out. Is that going to be enough to get it done? No. The tower's still standing with a Feather Airstrike coming out from Farsa. Going to miss the mark just a little bit. Only one tap to get some damage in is now going to be forced on the disengage.
Okay, so that was the first time we saw Blink go in and not die immediately. I want to take a look at the items. Did still pick up the wand, right? But now going a bit tankier, able to take some damage, has these Athena shield, can take some damage from Reverie, can take some damage from Kokomi, can take some damage from Savage and still survive. So now Blink can do a little bit of a job of possibly wasting some ultimates as long as Blink doesn't go down, like what we just saw.
As you say that, just you know, they always try to make the try to make the captains look bad every time. Able to go ahead and take them out. That's just that quick burst that you get from the Leomord with that Phantom Steed, that combination. You call in the horse, you lay down the momentum, and then there you go, you charge in, and all of a sudden bodies are dropping. But speaking of dropping, the flicker to avoid the cancel. That's so huge.
So beautiful.
Hey, to take out Sleeps, and you got to give that man medal for this. But hang on, heavy strength from Makai. He's not going to be able to find glue here. Not going to be able to pick this off. Savage just standing over the wall. He's going to stay here. Phantom Steed comes over. Jeff Daddy and Feather Airstrike combination. Looking to make the play happen, but look at Blinks. He's in the backside. He's trying to find one, trying to find something, but he's just going to find himself falling into the hands of Jeff Daddy yet again. But hang on, a nice slice left behind by Boca Roscoe is going to take out Jeff Daddy in the afterworld. There is now the members of Team Tom are going to be forced back on the retreat. But hang on, Boca Roscoe looking for more. Enhanced shade, he finds that onto Savage, going to force the immortality, but the split going to let him get out of there, but still some utility down from the side of Team Tom.
Otta senpai, teach me your ways. That my brain's just replaying that flicker over and over. He read tuna.com like a book. He knew the dash was coming. He's like, come on, bring it in. Flickers under the tower, gets a stun. And yes, Bloodhounds does answer back here a bit, though. They're going to start working on this Lord. No retribution for the side of Team Time.
And they need to be careful here. Akaido's going to be picking up a Ruby DD combo coming out, going to force the Winter Trunch and force out some flickers. Boca Roscoe's going to be taken down. They weren't able to pick up the Lord, but they are going to be able to pick up this fight. They're going to look to close this out. Million Blast from the bush from RR, but with no flicker, he's going to miss the mark. Blink on the backside. He's trying to find anyone he can, but the electrifying beats are starting to run out. The Sparse is going to go ahead and take out Akai, RR, and company, moving forward slowly, diligently, slow and meticulous. Hang on, wings by wings from Revival. He's able to find a play. No, he won't, but they have cleared that bot side lane. They have a Canyon Minion. Looks like they're not going to try to force anything. They do know that Luminous Lord is up on the top side, and they're going to go handle business first.
Bloodhounds buy some time here, able to give themselves a little bit more, and as long as they don't make any huge mistakes, they can try to maybe contest the next Lord fight again. Team Time, on the other hand, I feel like they don't need to try to push this, right? Just eat up the jungle, try to pull Bloodhounds out of their base maybe before the Lord comes, but they don't need to really push in. They have such a huge advantage right now. They have the minions are going to do the macro practically for them. The only problem is, the only advantage that Bloodhounds have coming up on this next Lord pit is it is on the bottom side. And that is where Team Time kind of has the advantage, right? They are going to ask for a pause, so it gives me a little bit more time to talk, something I love to do. And what I'm getting at is, normally if you have the, if they would have taken that top inhibitor, then they would have a bit more of an advantage when it comes to this Lord pit. But because they have the bottom ones, it's going to be a bit easier for Bloodhounds to defend the macro push on this bot lane, because that's where they're going to be anyways, right? They don't need to send Tuna all the way across the map. As long as they can kind of time this correctly, they'll be okay to possibly fight for this Lord.
Definitely, that is kind of their win condition, like you said, kind of the opportunity that they need to try to take advantage of. But speaking of taking advantage, Team Tom, some things they need to kind of work on here is they don't really have to go for the all-in every time. They have a Farsa here with that Feather Airstrike, low cooldown. They can really just look to chip away, specifically at the member Sleeps. They can go ahead and key in on him, find some damage to stack in on his carry, force some recalls, force some backing. I mean, it's a marksman, right? There's no regen capability in 8ly. They can definitely force those recalls. And there goes the DPS, right, for the side of Team Bloodhound. There goes the range as well. You still have Lunox to play that mage in those team fights, so you can definitely let Farsa send out those Feather Airstrikes a lot more often. Pretty much every time it's available, just poke down the members of Bloodhounds. They don't have anyone that can kind of deal with that, force those recalls, keep that pressure, and if they get too low, especially if they're far out on the map, send Jeff Daddy in. Low HP is a free kill for the Leomord.
Most definitely. But I mean, it's not going to be easy. But at this point, by the time Lord comes up, Gold's starting to come to a point where it doesn't matter. A little bit of a conceal play, but they get nothing out of it. That's a big utility 45 seconds before, but here comes Akai.
It's a heavy spin, but he hasn't locked anyone down. It's going to be utility out of the way. Feather airstrike. Blink's all alone, though, in a 1v4 situation. And there he goes. Comey going to take him down. And now the glue Tuna.com alone as well. But a Numian Blast flicker. Not going to be able to find anyone, but they are going to be able to take down a kill on Tuna.com. That's 2 members down from the side of Bloodhounds. Will the side of Team Time look to push this? Will they force this? No, looks like they're going to go ahead and play the right play. Maybe go for the Lord. Just spawning in less than 20 seconds. Enhanced Luminous would be the right call, the proper macro, if you will. And that's what I expect to see from them. But hang on, just daddy momentum over the wall, a little bit of poke. But yeah, they are going to make that call just to wait for that Lord to spawn in.
So Kai makes a play I was honestly hoping he would not make. I think they needed to play it patient, play it safe, not try to use a heavy spin to get a pick or anything like that. Their only opportunity is to try to fight for this Lord, but Jess Daddy knows he's there, and he's all alone. The rest of the team going to fight down by the orange buff.
Whoa, and there goes a Numian Blast to go ahead and help with that zoning. And what you're seeing here is what I love to see. Instead of forcing onto the Lord, they're just going to keep fighting a Kai. As long as they don't drop the Lord, it's going to be free for them to pick up. The hang going here. After they do take him out, Kokomi being focused. Riveri on the far side, going to be able to pick up that Lord for the side of Team Time. And now Savage looking for the engage to help Kokomi up against Blink. There goes the flicker from Kokomi. Can they take him out? Sleep's going to take out RR here, though. He's still on board. He still has a lot of HP. Ultimate is gone, though, from him for the air strike coming out from Riveri. Boca Roscoe's low. And now there goes the burn. Will it finish him? Yes, it will. Killing spree from the Veer. They've taken out 2 members again, and that's some long death time for them as Lord comes in. There's a big, huge advantage for them. Sleeps getting caught out by the slam. It's being spammed by Savage on the glue. Flicker coming out, but it's not going to be enough. Blink is going to find Farsa, but Jeff Daddy's going to find Sleep. That's 3 members down from the side of Bloodhound. Primal wrap out from Tuna, but it's not going to be enough to hold them back. Kokomi gonna go ahead and outplay Blink. He's gonna be taken out by Tuna, but that's a little too late for them. A complete wipeout, complete annihilation is now Savage, Lord, and a couple Winions are gonna go ahead and take this series up against Bloodhound.
A good series, a nice play at the end there by Bloodhounds trying to salvage the game there. And as long as Sleeps was up on the field, I felt like they had the opportunity. He got all his items locked in at the end there. He had a chance, but the moment he got caught off guard, once again, Savage has their number. He's punching the clock. He comes in, finds the moment, able to stall up Sleeps long enough so that Jess Daddy can collect that kill. And that was it. From there, it's GG's. Kokomi's still on the map, and even though he ends up going down, the trade for trade ends up leaving Team Time on top, and they're able to secure the series of these scrims. Right, Deku?
Oh,
anyways.
the mic was muted there. It was so amazing that it left me speechless, Trace. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with those sentiments anymore. At Team Time, man, just getting it done in Kokomi, like you said, the outplays, a great addition in that gold lane. I'm not sure if that's a new player or an old one, but whatever it is, he's going to be a nice piece for the side of Team Time. But even for Bloodhounds, right? We got to see Tuna.com filling in for XP. And potentially going to be slotted for NACT for the side of Bloodhounds. And I expect great things from the kid out there on that side of the map.
Most definitely. Now, scrims are over. Back to normal mode. I think Bloodhound's definitely like trying a lot of things there, right? Testing some waters. I don't think it's exactly what we're going to see from them in NACT. Team Time, on the other hand, I think kept things pretty straightforward through all of that. I'm glad we got to see Kokomi play that Lunox in the gold lane. It showed that he does have some a little bit of a hero pool there. Can play something that not all, can throw the mage into the gold lane. It shows that Team Time can use that consistently as a flex pick, right? They can pick up that Lunox, and you never know exactly where it's going to go. And I think that was one of the deciding factors in their drafts against Bloodhounds there.
Really excited here, though. I'm hoping we're pending on potentially a second run here.
Yeah, hopefully we can get another scrim. If not, it's cool.
Bloodhound in the Wavo would be pretty fun to see.
Oh yeah! To everyone that's been watching, we appreciate it, guys. Sorry for any slight mic issues. I had to tone down a little bit during the fights because if I talked, it was like cutting you down a little bit, Deku. So that's why it wasn't giving like too much hype in the background. It's why I wanted to try to catch your mic from what's it called. So maybe next time. We still have plenty of time to practice and stuff. Deku's getting all of his. He's computer illiterate, I guess, so he's getting all of his stuff set up. And he wasn't able to bring out the big guns, Mike, just yet. But yeah, definitely hyped to hear Deku on 4K in the future.
That's going to be fun, hitting the desk, being seen, and hopefully before, like I said, before NACT get to pop out a little bit over here with Trex and Company. We're at the Trex Cash radio station, late nights.
Sushi, what's up? Sushi, who were you?
Oh, you said he was the Akai.
Oh, you're Sushi, you're jungle, bro? You're playing jungle? Sheesh. Wait, can you make your name Sushi? I didn't know that was you. I would have called you Sushi. I've known Sushi for a little while. I was wondering if you were still playing on the team or not.
It looks like okay, I see what happened here. It looks like Wavo had a match set up in MLSA too. Well, King of the Hill looks like they're winning, so they haven't been knocked off, and they just got into another match.
Tell them to throw, bro. Tell them to throw. Go get in their VC and tell them to throw. I'll bet some money on the game real fast.
I'll bet some money. Oh yeah, that trip out to Vegas did not do you good. I see. Came back with a little bit of gambling addiction, maybe.
Not gonna lie, overseas you can bet on MPL games with like rivalry.
Yeah, I've heard.
But you can't. None of those websites are allowed in America, and I was really upset. I wanted to bet money on the Echo versus Blacklist game. I was gonna put like $500 on it because I knew it was gonna be a win, and they won. I would have made like a quick $300 on that.
I would have put my rent down. Not gonna lie.
I just knew it was gonna. I mean, their odds were like the odds were heavily in Echo's favor, so you only would have got like 50% of your bet back, but still, it would have been easy money.
Yep.
Like you would have got you bet 100, you make 150 back, so you make a quick $50. But yeah, I knew they were gonna take that game, so I would have put some money on it.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so it's looking grim for us as far as for the next scrim. I mean, I don't know.
No biggie.
Maybe done. I don't know, but let's. I mean, shoot. We're here now. Well, what's up? I mean, do we powwow on the live for everyone? Do we look at some other games, or do we tune in to MLSA and look at Waymo play? What do we do here, Trick?
I'm down to just hang out for a bit. If we don't have a scrim, I would rather not cast over another game that's just like happening, like a recording or like MLSA. I'm cool to chill. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Anyone in the chat or anything like that. Speaking of our casting, I think things sounded pretty smooth. I think it'll be smoother whenever we're able to like really go all out in audio and everything like that. And then also when I'm not controlling cam, I think I feel pretty good about it, honestly. We still tomorrow.
Chat, are we getting that vote?
Yeah, are we getting that vote, chat?
we getting that vote for Sunrise or what? Deku and Trex, the 4-letter menaces of the Wild Wild West.
What vibe are we going for? We're going for the best vibe.
For the win.
The win. The vibe that wins.
You know what vibe I'm going for, Trex? I'm going for M5. I'm going for M5
for an M5 vibe.
M5 vibe. If you don't feel like we're going to the Philippines in January, it's not right. It's just not right, and that's what we're aiming for.
I honestly think we have a nice well-rounded vibe. Like I think once we like perfect ourselves as a duo, it'll be nicely well-rounded. We have a little bit of grime, with either of our play-by-plays. I think we have a little bit of a professional vibe. We have a little bit of comedy here and there. I think overall, the only thing we'll really have to work on is our like the final thing that we're going to have to work on as a duo bringing to the table is more of our comedic value and our comfortability and stuff like that. And that's something I think I talked whenever I first jumped into VC talking about our duo was like, the only thing we're going to have to work on is just our like, just us being comfortable together and joking around together and stuff like that, laughing and stuff
it'll come with a few more practice. Like I said, you gotta learn, gotta see where the opening is, see how the inserts work. But like you said, we had some moments with jokes.
Oh yeah,
it was we definitely got some out there. But yeah, I definitely think it could definitely bounce off a little bit more. But like I said, it'll come with some more practice. This is the first casting that we did together practicing for NACT. Yeah. I think we're in a great position. It's the dotting the I's and crossing the T's for me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think we'll both feel confident with each other, like whatever role we're in, because we're going to be swapping. Like one series.
That's going to be fun. I think that's something we definitely have a nice advantage. I think we're probably the only caster.
We'll be the only desk that
can swap. I don't think I've ever seen Ben do play-by-play. I know I've heard he's a pretty good analyst.
He's a great analyst. I think like Ben's probably one of my favorite analysts to cast with. In the past, at least, I haven't casted with Deku yet as an analyst, so we won't say that yet. Ben's solid.
I got some things for you.
I guess. So yeah, I think. But yeah, we'll be the only desk that swaps around, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty unique. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and also what'll be helpful with that is like for example, like in those moments when it's like a quick pickoff, and like if you're doing analyst and it's a quick pickoff, you can still bring hype to those moments. And if I'm doing analyst and it's a quick pickoff, I can still bring hype to those moments.
Yeah,
I think our transitions will sound better. Like if a team fight starts out of nowhere, you take that first second and then pass it over and I jump in, or I take that first second and pass it over and you just jump in. I think that'll be something that we will be able to do really well together.
Those are definitely some good points. Because like when you come down to transitions, like as an analyst, you try your best to give a nice one. But if you haven't done play-by-play, you don't really know what a play-by-play kind of wants to enter on. But if you have, you know exactly where the sweet spot is. Like, this is where I can hand it off, and he's going to be able to rip this. And like, that's definitely that's a good point. Definitely a good dynamic to have. And that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I think all the desks are going to have a great experience. But I can't lie. I think we got some. But then we're on the brink of greatness on something here, Trex.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a great desk. I'm very happy about it. I'm just ready for NACT, bro. I'm ready to start.
Oh yeah,
we still got like 2 weeks. I can't wait for it. And bro, it's gonna be long nights, bro.
Yeah, it's a long nights, but that just means long casting. And I can't lie, casting is it's my favorite thing to do these days. So I'm not mad at it, and it's NACT. It's North America at its finest, and that's where we'll be. So it's a great opportunity, man. It's going to be so much fun. I really can't wait. I'm ready for the grind, in it for the long haul. I'm just ready to get out there and just show the community. Hey, the talent isn't all just out there in the land of Dawn, Trex. It's up here at the desk too.
Most definitely. It's going to be. Sorry, I fucking got phased off by. I was reading something for that last second.
Having to sound out the words there, you a little bit of trouble, Trex.
Yeah, I was like, I saw something on YouTube and it caught me off guard.
Boca in the chat. GG's.
Boca in the chat.
Boca, yeah.
GG's. Well played.
Tuna was a good pickup. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, bro. Tuna looks good. Your guys' team looks good. Like I think, like obviously you guys tried some things and stuff. Joy Rome, cough cough. But I think like overall, like everyone had clean plays. It's definitely
it
was definitely a scrim, But even in that, like even when you guys were behind, you guys made some clean plays. So excited to see how you guys do in NACT. You guys gonna make it to the season? You gonna make it to the season, bro?
Yo, I asked Boca. Boca set a low standard. I was like, what's the realistic expectation? He was streaming last night on Twitch. You know what this man told me, Trex? He said, top 32.
Oh, my God.
Talk about setting the bar low. I was expecting maybe a top 8. Like you said last time, a little bit of a push in, technically a top 16. I was like, maybe we get over the hump and you really play in for the top 8. And he said top 32. I said, wait a minute, we're going in the wrong direction here, but that's not where you want to go. I think the team's a lot better than the top 32. Maybe a shaky top 8, but like we were just talking about for you and the caster desk, you dot the I, you cross the T's, and I think you got a strong roster heading into NACT.
Most definitely. So I definitely think Bloodhounds can make it to top 8. I think a lot of the interesting thing is like the qualifying stage. It's like all best of ones, double elimination. So like there's definitely high chance that some teams just get like a weird bracket and we see something like like Bloodhounds versus another like decent team like Bloodhounds Huevo, Bloodhounds Time, like Ohio Brothers Bloodhounds, something like that to where like Area 77, Ohio Brothers, Simpsons, Area 77, things like things like that happen early on, and then it's like, so I think there's just a high chance that we could see like 2 or 3, teams that we don't know as well make it into the season just for those reasons. It just kind of depends on how the bracket falls, right? If
a lot of you rattle off those names, it's crazy.
it's possible.
Just hearing them out loud, it's like, damn, that's quite a bit of powerhouses.
Bro, there's Ghost who signed up too. They finally signed up.
Oh yeah, who they finalized on the roster?
Hold on, let me find them. Hold on.
I'm so excited for this NACT. Did you tell the chat about the Zane thing?
Oh, what you're talking about on YouTube? Zane not having chicken?
The whole roster
bro, I don't know what's
That's
happen.
insane.
I feel kind of bad. I'm like, damn, Zane doesn't have anyone to play with right now, bro. Like, I still think that like we were chatting about it, and it was like Zane's so good that I think he can make any team like do well. Like, I think
that happened with the Valley.
You could put Zane with 4 Joe Schmoes, and they'll still probably make it to top 8. I just believe that. I think he can train people. He's always kind of been a solid rock for any team when it comes to analyst, coach, plays. Like, he can turn anyone into a top 8 team. Can he make it to MSC though? That is going to be a big
That's the real question,
right?
That's the real question.
But Gosu right now. Here, you can continue.
Go ahead.
You're good. Finish, and then we'll go to Gosu.
I was going to say, what I'm really questioning is, let's say he doesn't qualify for MSC. What does that do for like the mental of Zane, especially if he doesn't get those players back? Like if he doesn't get Chicken or Shark for an NACT fall for whatever reason, like let's say, I don't know, whatever happens to Endo, Chicken ends up being an Endo player. He's not going out there for a spring break vacation. So just like what happens from there if he doesn't qualify? Is that like detrimental to the legacy of Zane? Does he like fall apart ahead of NACT fall?
I hope not. I don't think he will. I think no matter, like, it'll be similar to maybe last year. Like, I think he, with Chicken going to Indo and everything, if he enters, I think he's going to look at this as just like, yeah, we're just doing this something for fun. I mean, of course he wants to go to MSC, but I think for fall, like, he's going to try to qualify for M5 no matter what. I think this might be a great opportunity for him to just like, try to get a solid team together. What's the problem with it is like, he's going to build a team here, right? And then I'm worried, like, we're going to come to fall, and then, like, he's going to force swaps again. It's like what? He's going to bring Chicken back in? Is Shark going to come back? Things like that.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You think he's going to leave Chicken off a roster? Hell no.
No. I mean, no matter what, Chicken comes back. So, like, whoever EXPs for his team has to know, like, unless you just perform so phenomenally, but, like, most likely, like, you're going to join, like, all right, I'm not a permanent resident here.
I still don't think Zane would, because, Zane values stage appearances. Like, he knows, like, the stage is totally different from playing at most of our events where we're not really offline everywhere. Like, playing here, maybe you play offline for grand finals, and then you go to Worlds and you're all on stage the entire time. It's a totally different breed, and Zane knows that. And I don't think even if the XP played remotely similar to Chicken, he would just be like, yeah, I'm going to take you over Chicken. No way. Chicken's been to Worlds 2 times in a row and has been, like, he's a household name.
Yeah, Chicken's, honestly, I feel like he's one of the best EXP laners in the world, like, just point blank, like, top 5, like, he's a monster. I think that's why he's going to Indo. Like maybe possibly, let's see if I can maybe join a pro team over here or something like that. So good luck to him. Whatever ends up happening, I hope that he's able to be happy and whatever, because he's a monster and he definitely, like, same with Zane. Like, I just don't know if, like, I think Zane went to Indo and, like, just the realization, like, damn, I'm far from home. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a lot. Like, going over there to join a pro team where you don't know anybody, you don't speak the language, like, it's a lot. I don't know if I could do it. Nah, if they invited me and I didn't have a family, I'd be over there casting in a minute. But it's a little different, I feel like, casting.
Yeah, it is. That's fun. Oh, Gosu though, what's that roster looking like? Got our eyes on it?
Yeah. Midnights, I don't know who that is. Stoner. Zero.
From TRS?
No, Gosu Stoner. He's been around for a while. We just never really seen him play that much.
But he played with TRS before, right? The Rockstars, that old TRS? West team? The Rockstars? They used to be out there in the West.
I don't know. Stoner's been around, though, for a long time, so maybe. Yeah. Zero, Tarzan, so they got Guapo. Yuzi still playing. And then Xavier. I think Fleur is Midnights, because I know Fleur's playing with them. So Yuzi, Tarzan, Fleur, that's who I'm really excited. Like, those are 3 players that competed at NASL all 3 seasons. Honestly, like, I know Zero's great and everything. And, I mean, Zero's good, too. We saw him do some great games. What he picked the Hellcurt and won with it, and last NACT. But still, like, I think, like, some of the major people we got to keep our eyes on is Yuzi, Fleur. They're both great players. I don't know if Jen's going to be competing or not. Like, if he's actually going to be competing or not.
I wouldn't believe so. I think General's far past really wanting to. I think he's been way past competing. He said it before on stream. Like, it's really more so for the other people on the team. He's definitely a far example of a content creator at this point. I don't think that's really his thing anymore. He's looking to compete. The fire's not there. But Floor is looking pretty insane. I got to see the scrims with them last night. Not going to get too much into it, but working on some nice pocket picks, if you will, and it's looking good. So I'm excited. Like you said, definitely going to keep my eye on Floor.
Most definitely. Fleur's a monster mage, bro. Fleur's a
monstrous.
Yeah, I'm excited. A lot of teams I'm excited. I think like the pool of good teams has only gotten larger, right? It's only gotten bigger. There's even more teams, kind of like teams like Quavo, teams like all of these other teams. So I think it's going to definitely be a really interesting qualifiers. It's sad that we're not really going to get to watch it, and it's hard to say who's going to come out on top. Like,
bro, it's so funny you mentioned qualifiers because, like you said, the pool of teams that are good have gotten so much bigger. Like, I know for a fact there's going to be some games going on that aren't going to get live streamed. They're going to be bangers. Like,
well, it's sad that it's best of one, though. That's the scary thing. That's why I think, like, there's a high chance some big teams, like, don't make it. Like, there's a big chance, like, Bloodhounds get knocked out. There's a big chance that, like, the Simpsons get knocked out or something. Like, Area 77. Like, there's a big chance some of these top teams that we know, like, could just not make it due to one bad game. Like, those possibilities are there, right? And yes, it's double elimination, but still, it's anything can happen.
Double elimination, but a life wasted in the first round. That's harming.
Yeah. And the bottom bracket is where we'll see, like, that's where teams will get unlucky and things. That's where we'll see, like, the 2 big teams go up against each other in, like, first or second round. Like, yes, they'll probably keep things spread out in the beginning of the bracket, but it's bottom bracket. You can't really help it, right? Like, yes, they might be split up, but then once it gets to the second round, then it's like that's where if any big teams get knocked out early on into the loser bracket, like if 2 or 3, they're gonna meet each other early, and someone's gonna go home.
And that best of one, I really gotta. That's why I feel like teams like Wago is strong regardless. Outside of drafting, they're just a really strong team. Teams like Zenek Lotus, I don't know if you got to see them play a lot.
I haven't got to see them play. I've heard about them. heard about them.
They've been putting in some work. They've been playing in MLSA. I've hosted a lot of the scrims privately, and teams like Zen, teams like Wavo, not only are they like really good in the game, but I feel like their drafting is nice. Like Wavo is ridiculous with like the flex picks and just like pocket, like it's stuff like you like. There's no, like they have to be trolling, right? And then that ends up being like the star piece of the composition. It's like if you haven't seen it, how do you deal with it type of thing. Like in a best of one, when you're up against a team like Wavo, like they're a strong team to me. I know they're strong, but they haven't been on the scene for other teams to know them. They haven't been in the top 8, top 16. They're not on anybody's radar. Yeah, so it's like those pocket picks become even that much more dangerous because you have no insight on them. Like if they go up against the top team, we know what the top teams play. They're always streamed, you know what I mean? We just got done streaming a scrim between top teams. But a team like Wavo, there's no information. There's no intel. And then, boom, you have a best of one. You get completely blindsided at draft, and you just walk. You know what I mean? And that's where I feel like teams like Wavo, teams like ZenX, that's going to be their advantage. Like it's going to be incredible. I can't wait. That's why I'm so hyped for NACT. Someone's about to fall. Someone's falling.
Taking bets. Who do we think? Anybody have a prediction on who doesn't make it to top 8? Any spicy hot takes? That's the real thing.
No regular season.
Like who doesn't make it to regular season? Anybody? I'm wondering. Like, I think Hoon and them definitely make it. I think.
Are you kidding me?
Like I think they clean through the top bracket, the upper bracket. They just clean through. It's going to be easy for them, I think. Maybe not easy, but I think they'll sweep through. I think Simpsons are a team that might have some trouble. They didn't really practice a whole bunch during M4 and everything. They're just kind of getting themselves back together. But I know they're still playing, and I know they hopefully they've been practicing the past like 2 weeks, and they're putting in like they're boot camping for a month. But they picked up Basic. They have Arvel. You have Promise still, Fallen, Cold World, Sin. So like they have the roster still, right? I just worry, right? I think they could be a team that could possibly have a bad run if they make any small mistakes, right?
Yeah. I 100% can see that happening.
That's joining.
Yeah.
Gosu, they're going to need to watch out.
I think I feel like Gosu could be a team that could, like, depending on who they end up that's the thing. Like, right now in my mind, outside of Ohio Brothers, I don't feel like there's a team that is like, I could be like, I'm willing to bet they make it to top 8. I feel like everyone else is like free game. Even with Zane, because now when he had Chicken still for the roster, I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, he still has Chicken. We've seen this happen before. He could definitely make it to top 8. Out of all, 8 teams in North America that's going to make it, a team with Zane and Chicken should make it. That's just realistic. But without Chicken, without Shark, he's losing 2 of his M3 partners in crime for the last 2 world events, the last, NACTs. And now he has strong players on the roster, but they don't have I don't think they're going to, the chemistry isn't going to be matched to this, at least on paper right now. I can't speak for what it looks like. I haven't got to see them play or seen any of their scrims, but it's a lot you lose from just losing those 2 players, and it's going to be hard to replace. Those are some big shoes to fill for anybody.
I think some definites, like if I had to pick 4, I think it's a safe number to pick, right? I think Ohio Brothers. I think Area 77.
That sounds dangerous.
I think Area 77.
Those guys are bad.
Yeah, I mean, because looking at the roster, they have Gals, they have Mark QD. I don't know who Juice Walk K and Jassy QD are. I don't know if they're just name changes or what. But just with Gals and Mark QD alone, I'm sure the other players thought, I think they can make it to top 8.
Honestly, the BTK roster should be. You got Gina and Zane. I feel like that's a strong. You got Yato's on there too, right? Totenac.
Gina's with Ohio Brothers.
Oh yeah,
Gina's Gold
Zia.
Lane.
That's right. Zia's with
no matter as long as with listen, Yato. If you got Yato, Zia, and Zane, they're going to top 8. I
feel like that's a strong. Yeah.
Especially honestly very surprised that Yato is not playing with Area 77. He has been a staple there forever. So, like, the fact that he's going to move teams, he's going to play his ass off. And Yato is, like, he was always the player that I had my eyes on in Area 77. A lot of people liked Marcuti and Pokey, but I was always a Yato fan. Yato's, in my eyes, one of the best mages in NA, like, top 3 easy. The man's a monster, and he's young, too. Like, he just turned 14 or whatever, so he's just able to make it to NACT. Like, so we haven't really got to see him play big qualifiers.
They just changed the rules for that.
Yeah, like the man... Like, if he sticks around and ML keeps growing over here in NA, another year or two, Yato's going to be like one of the sought-after. Like, if orgs come, he's going to be like one of the sought-after mages, I think. He'll be like one of those young players that is just like, everyone's like, oh, man, Yato. Like, give it another year or two. I like to think in ML in the long haul because I think we still have a lot of time to grow. I think Yato's going to be like one of those American players that people are like, oh, man, this guy.
He's good.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of leads to your point. Like you said, Yato moved on. I don't even think it's a sense of like Yato moved on. I think Yato's been acknowledged by Zane, because Zane's not just gonna take any fucking body, some random on his roster. Like you got to get the nod of approval for the CEO of NA. You know what I mean? To hop on a roster, especially for NACT. I think that's what's happening. Kind of how you're saying you expect Yato to be viewed. It's like, okay, this kid is. He's something. You know what I mean? He's something special. And right now, to fill in that mid void for Zane, it was probably like he's looking at him. How you said he's like top 3 to you. Zane was like might be number 1, top 2, arguably in his eyes, and that's where Yato steps in. How he gets onto that BTK roster.
Yeah,
and that's huge. That's a huge confidence boost to be sought after by Zane.
So someone asked if AE was still a team. AE is not a team. Riles is playing with, I saw his name on here.
Legacy.
Riles playing with Legacy, yeah. Jolly Don't Care, Ken, Nash. They're a team we should keep our eyes on.
Yeah, that's an interesting team.
There's another team.
Legacy was good before.
Yeah, they were. Did they make it to top 8? Was Legacy a top 8? What was top 8 last? Let me pull up Liquipedia real quick. Pull up the old Liquipedia. Go back to NACT fall season. We're going way back.
They went up against. I think it was. Did they go up against Ackerman? Or was it Area 70? I'm trying to remember.
Who was there was like a 5th team. Like it was Vendetta. It was. Hold on. There was like another team that we were all like, oh shit.
I can't even think for the life of me who they played, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Ball.
For them. Who was the team that knocked down BTK? Meta Esports, but they're not a team anymore.
This it? All right, I found it.
That was the team that had Mikasa meet that mid laner. Insane.
I found it. All right, so it was Legacy. Yeah, they made it to top 8. Legacy made it to top 8. Yeah. So top 8 was the Valley, Team Gosu, Ackerman, Legacy, Simpsons, Vendetta, Team First Blood, Bloodhounds. Legacy they went down to they got knocked down by Ackerman. Then they beat Gosu and lost to Team First Bloods 3-1. So there was another team too on here that I saw that I know that we have to point out. There's a lot of teams with like different names, but if you look at the players, the Untouchables. Yeah. Untouchables is someone we need to watch out for too. It's pretty much old Deuce Knights. So it's Easy Peasy, Rose, Anna, Milo's on there, Midnight. So like this is a team we got to watch out for as well. Untouchables.
They had signed up in the I don't know if they're just going through a thing of like what name to use. They signed up in the Valentine's Dash as the Elementalists, but we didn't realize it was them until like later.
Who else?
But honestly, Rich, I wouldn't be sad that Meta Esports isn't there. When that happened, Meta Esports looked like the only team. Well, didn't look like they were the team that took down BTK. But this year, you could say there's a bunch of Meta Esports. If you're thinking about teams that could take down BTK, I think there's quite a few Meta Esports.
What happened to Incognito?
They went through a name, so they ended up making a team with most of the players.
I liked them.
Yeah, I did too. There was Incognito. They ended up making the team Nefarious.
The what?
That was
Nefarious?
Team Nefarious.
Yeah,
so that was their team name. Nah, nothing pixie dust about them. Definitely some heathens. The Team Nefarious, that was actually being managed by Eunice, the other caster, the duo with Steph Weeb.
Yeah.
Strong team, man. They had what's that kid's name?
They made it to top 16. Yeah, Newick.
Yeah. So he was on the team. He was under the name Fushi. I didn't even know that was him until he ended up saying "Oh, that's me. I just changed my name so people don't know me." Yeah, he's actually on another team now with Eunice again. Carpe Diem. I don't know if they're signed up, but they're a strong team. Carpe Diem. But yeah, so Incognito became Nefarious. Nefarious had something went down, some issue. They ended up disbanding, but Eunice has kept some of those players from that roster along, and Newick's one of them. So it's a little less members of Incognito, but there's still some Incognito presence that's going to be in NACT. But I actually think Incognito got taken over by someone else. Forgot his name. You might still see Team Incognito get signed up. Someone currently has possession of the squad and has the roster, and I think they are going to suit up for NACT.
I just want to see names stay. You know what's Ritz just said it. Teams at this point should come up with a serious name and stick to it. I think they should too. I don't feel like there's any reason. Like Deuce Knights, for example, I don't think they needed to rebrand. They had a good brand. Their name was pretty well known last year.
Yeah.
They were able to come out on top or get top 4 in 2 NACTs.
They were strong in NASL. That's where I first saw them.
So I wish Easy Peasy would have just kept the freaking name, bro.
If these teams, I've seen y'all talk about it. A lot of us talk about it in the community. For the love of God, just keep the name at minimum. Just keep the name, even if you don't keep the players. We'd like to see y'all keep the players, but at least the name, bro. You change the name, you change the players. There's no consistency in NA. Teams keep the same names and change rosters all the time, even at the professional level. A little less because contracts and but they move players around. But we're moving names, we're moving players. They're no one knows what this is. We don't know who you people are when you do all this. They just make it so unfamiliar every major event. That's why I appreciate teams that stick together and keep their names. Even if they're not at the top, I respect it because that's definitely how you get to the top. If you keep the roster, you keep the name, and you just keep working. And that's why I always get sad when, Team First Blood. Team First Blood was one of those teams.
What the hell?
I know. Yeah, what the hell?
I have a Team First Blood jersey, bro. They made a jersey and everything. How are they going to change their name, bro? You spend money on a jersey, I feel like you're committed, you know?
Yeah, at that point, and North America, that's damn near the contract. You making team jerseys? Hell, y'all are in there.
Yeah.
Locked in. Y'all are MLBB brothers for life.
People's attention span. It's been 2 months, guys. M4 happened. We're back in it. Everyone, people are acting like NACT wasn't going to come, bro. We all knew we were going to get elite. We all knew this was coming.
Yeah, we all knew. Come on. That's the upsetting part. This is coming. You guys are gonna do this again. When are you gotta take it serious? Moonton's taking it serious for getting all these cool things, and you guys won't even, keep a 200-something diamond squad. Come on. Let's get serious, North America.
Bro, I would spend the diamonds for half these guys to put their names back to what they were. I'll send Easy Peasy the name 100%. Change. I'll send all of them the name changes. Put your names back. Put your squad names back. And they make it hard on us, too. They make it hard for me. I got to go searching, read rosters and stuff. It'd be so much easier. How dare
the information they? It feels like you're learning new information, but you're not. You're just trying to see where that information went. And that's what's the hard part. You're looking at the teams. It's the same team name, but all these name changes. I have no idea who you are. You got to go ask, is this such and such? Is this good? Okay, all right, cool. So these notes are good. And then it's oh, this one completely disbanded. We just kept the name. What the? Where are they? They do make it hard, but I don't know. I'm hoping maybe this time, Trex, there's NACT going to MSC, NACT going for M5. Who knows what else could be brought out? We're clearly going in the right direction. We're not moving backwards. It's definitely been on a rapid up. So like maybe teams get a little more serious. Like let's keep these names, let's keep these players. We're doing better. We're making a name, especially with all these platforms. You know, they're on MLSA, they're on NACT. Your NASL, I don't know, maybe pops back up underneath a new name, comes back out there. Ion, like the names are getting out there. Clippers are clipping the local, tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's being seen. Like, keep your name. The brand. Like, this is the branding stage. This is where the identity gets created.
I think we're in a good place. I think this will be. Hopefully, I think this is the final shakeup. I think after this NACT, there'll be a lot more solidarity between of course not all the teams, but I think we'll get at least I'm hoping at least 4 to 8 teams just tighten down, keep the same name, keep at least 3 to 4 out of the 5 in the same roster. I mean, roster changes aren't too big. It happens. Even overseas, it happens. You know what I'm saying? They always look at Blacklist right now. They have 2 new people, almost 3 new people. So that's normal. But I think as long as the brand stays the same, it's okay. And we were used to roster changes happening in the past, but they would still keep the same name. So I'm hoping after this NACT, it's the final big shakeup, and the dust kind of settles after this, and everyone realizes how real it is now. And yeah, I think Moonton should come out with some sort of incentive for teams to keep their name and everything and keep their brand. Listen, as long as you guys keep your roster the same for next NACT, this or that, things like that.
And, I also feel it's one of those things too. You can't make them, but I'd like to see some initiative. Right from some of these teams. I mean, some of these teams, at least a majority of them, have someone on there that gets, getting some money, maybe from streams, getting some diamonds here and there monthly. It could be as simple, literally, especially for the smaller teams. If you have, some ridiculous amount of diamonds, send a couple players some skins. It doesn't have to be an epic. Give them something, some kind of compensation for being with you, staying a while, performing good, whether it's in scrims, tournaments, myself personally, I gift my squad members stuff, because I trying to keep a team. Man, if you can keep a roster in NA, you're gonna do good. No matter what, if you can keep a roster, you can keep practicing, keep competing. You're gonna make a gigantic leap at halfway through the year, because that's where a lot of teams after this NACT, someone's gonna disband. Trex, someone's gonna lose, and they're gonna disband, and that's where a team that sticks together steps up and fills the void for that next NACT.
We'll see. There's definitely a lot of voids to be filled, so I think a lot of fresh blood has a lot of opportunity here. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of teams that are hungry for this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is probably going to be one of the most heated qualifiers. And then even when we get into the season, I think any the 2 or 3 new teams that get in, maybe 4 new teams that get in, it's definitely going to be a learning ground for them, because they're going to be going up against the top dogs, and they're probably going to have a rough start in the season is my guess. It's pretty normal. Whoever goes up against the Ohio brothers, whatever new team goes against them first, maybe it's a sweep, something like that. But luckily, it's going to be just like MPL, a double round robin season. So every team will get to play another team twice. And I think by the end of the season, those new bloods are going to be. It was the same thing with NASL last year. We had the Simpsons and Deuce Knights, or we had some newer teams. And they they used to be top 16, top 32 for Dave's tournaments, things like that. But then after sitting in a season, you play for a season, you go against the big dogs, and now you're a regular top 8. So I think we're going to really be building some new teams here, which is really exciting, and I'm anticipating it. It's going to be awesome.
100%. That's the fun part, seeing the new. I even put that in when I had the little interview with Dave. I told him I'm not really looking for the big teams this time around for NACT. I know a lot of people like to cheer for them and keep their eyes out for them, but I'm totally 100% invested in the development of NA. I wanted to see the young teams come in and kind of put their name out there, because there's quite a bit of them. Man. There's a nice sizable pool of developing teams. Even the ones that someone's gonna get left out. Right, we can't all make it to top 16.
Yeah.
and all making the top. Everyone's not going to make it into the season, but like even with that being the case, you can still have a strong outing without placing super high. It doesn't mean just because you didn't make it to top 16, top 8 that like your roster is bonk and you need to just dump it. So you got a little more work to do, right? But like someone's gonna get left out. But it's gonna be some teams that like you could be like arguably they could have replaced this team or replaced that team. It's just the way it went, the way the match was, maybe this issue in the draft, like so many variables to keep a team out. But it's always the next time. Like this is just the first NACT for the year. Just lock in practice, bro. Like that's what makes the tournament fun. Like we said, qualifiers, we're gonna miss bangers, and that's. I mean, it's sad to miss them, but that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear qualifiers like, oh yeah, all these teams just breeze through. No one wants that. I want teams to be like, yo, round of 64, round of, you know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. Like we had to go all in to win. Like that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, like is team time gap from last NACT?
Yes, that is time gap.
So, like, for example, like teams like that, teams like Incognito, teams like Apex Predators, a lot of those teams, like, not last NACT, but the NACT before that, they were like top 32, maybe even top 64, right? Like, they didn't get super far. But then they came back and they played again, and fall NACT, by this time, by the end of the year, they're making it to top 16. So, like, It just explains your point. Like some of these teams, maybe they don't have the greatest start in this NACT. Maybe they don't make it to top 8. Maybe they don't make it to like top 32 or something like that. But they make a statement. Then they come back next one and they get a little bit farther. And we're seeing like the teams that have been like just like grinding every NACT, and every time they're getting a little bit farther. And this time around, I'm sure we see like one of these teams slip into the cracks, right, and finally make it into that top 8, finally make it into that season, right? So it goes to show, like, to anyone that has a newer team or anything like that, like, you have to just compete, right? And whether you lose, you come back next year, you come back next season, and you keep on competing. You compete in the smaller things like MLSA, and you compete in the smaller things like Ion and all those, and eventually you become a top 8 team. Because the thing is you have teams like the Simpsons who haven't been practicing for a month or two, right? You have things like all these guys that roster change, and that is their weakness, right? That is their crack in the armor. And as long as you stay solid, like you eventually break that. So I feel good about it. I feel really awesome about it. Z Killed in the chat. What's up, man? Bro, you made me look like a bad guy in that thumbnail, bro. I appreciate the clips, though. Z Killed's been going in. We got a bunch of clips off last. I feel like I've been summoned. Feel free to go through it. Deku's also been saying some great stuff. This is why we needed Deku on camera. But we weren't able to
I'll be on camera next time.
Next time.
Be on camera next time. I'm computer illiterate, like you said. It's not really my specialty. Great voice, not so great with the wires and such.
That's all right. But we're gonna get you all squared away. We're gonna get you all squared away.
Also, to add on to those things, like with all those small events, it's also on the teams. Like again, initiative, team time, right? They went top 8 NACT. They don't really like. And they could be at this point where they're just
top
taking
16.
Exclusive private scrims.
Top 16
or top 6. Last NACT.
Yeah, they went top 16.
Oh, okay. I thought they made it to top 8 the last one. So top 16. I mean, still a good spot. They're like at the level where you could go for like, I'm not going to scrim. I'm not going to compete in these events. I'm only going to go against this type of caliber team for scrims. Be very selective and picky and do well. But even them, there's a tournament going on tomorrow, and the 26 very small. It's like the prize is just 40K diamonds, total. But Team Time is signed up. They're going to be out there competing with those really new teams, the very fresh blood out there, and it's like that's what you have to do if you want to remain a top team, if you want to become a top team. Like, get out there in the community. There's so many events that are going on that aren't as broadcasted, as mainstream. Even if they're not streamed events, just go sign up for tournaments. That you don't get better for tournaments if you're not competing in a tournament setting. You got to get away from the 5-man ranked games. Yeah, it's good to play and get the chemistry, but you got to compete. You have to compete, and you have to take advantage of everything there is. And like teams like Team Time, like you said, they got better throughout the year. They participated in NCT. They stayed together. They're in all these smaller local tournaments and still like playing all, like they're not taking time off. There's no rest. There's no breaks. They're just fully invested. And I want that from every team. Like, you have to have that hunger.
Yeah, someone said something, and I got a hot take on this. Is that Ken said, "I'm worried that once Zane leaves, we'll become the new Cambodia round one exit." So I was like, I think that I kind of have been wondering this, right? Like I had a feeling that like some stuff may happen, and now Zane's gonna switch teams again, and that maybe we send another team to the international stage. I was thinking it might happen in M5. Like, what if Zane didn't make it? But now with MSC...
Very real possibility.
Yeah, very real possibility, right? But also now with MSC, at least maybe we get our feet wet before M5. But here's the thing. I think there's a high chance that maybe we send someone other than Zane to represent NA in the next international event, which would be MSC. I also think there's a high chance we do take a quick loss. Sadly. But I think that is something we kind of need right now. I think we need to send more new faces to the world stage because it'll help NA grow in general, right? And if we do take, I mean, hopefully whoever we send to MSC does great. I'm always going to be voting for them, right? But I think it'll be better than just, Ezekiel just said it, why not build an all-star? Because I think it'll be healthier for NA if we don't always just send an all-star team. Like if a team that's not just like Zane, Hoon, Chicken, whatever goes, like we for the long haul, for the marathon run, right? It's not a bad thing if we have one rough international series, especially if it's MSC. Like, it's not the world stage. There's still plenty of time for us to pick up the pieces. I think this will be a great time for us to maybe, I mean, I hate to say this, it may not be a bad time for us to not do amazing on an international stage. We've had 2 years where we've always gotten we tied for top 3 region. We got top 2 region in M3. So just a hot take. I think it's possible that, maybe we maybe don't. I mean, if Hoon goes, I think they can do well. I think they can beat some teams. But I'm not going to be sad if we somehow become a first round finish, right? I'm not going to be sad about that. That's life. But I think it'll be healthy to get more faces on the world stage. That way, whoever ends up going in the future, we're prepared for it.
And even that, like, even if they do lose, let's be I'm going to be real there. Even the worst teams, quote unquote, at world stages or events have fans. They get new fans. Like, you could literally lose every single match and you're going to have fans. Cambodia has fans. Hello. So even if you go up there and don't have a great performance, it's the exposure. You get the publicity. And then it's like, because right now, if you still ask people, it's heavy like Zane. Where's Zane? Where is the team that Zane's on? Who's Zane bringing? Like, it's very zany for North America. But if Zane doesn't go, there's a new face, a new name to talk about, or just a complete whole 5 instead of one-man show to talk about. And that's just, kind of what Trek is getting at. Like, it's new faces. And that's going to pay off way more than just having Zane show up at MSC again, because that's the expected. But if that doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Now we get a whole new route and path for North America. So, like, that... I don't want to say it, but I'm kind of hoping Zane doesn't make it to MSC. That's just,
don't say that, Zeke.
Unpopular opinion.
No.
I hope Zane loses. I'm
God.
I want Zane to lose. It's for MSC.
My name is Trex, and I do not approve this message.
And my name is Deku, and I want this to be posted. It's not. I'm not looking for the downfall of Zane. I don't want that to get confused. I'm not. But it would be healthy if Zane didn't make it. It's just MSC. It's not Worlds. I would hope and expect Zane to make it to Worlds. That'd be great for him, for his pro player career. But for MSC, it's a great opportunity for someone else to get out there. And with the circumstances, it could potentially happen.
Yeah, I mean, I just think for us as to everyone wondering why we're saying these things, or anyone wondering for us as casters and for people we want to see the region as a whole do well, right? So
right.
when I say it'd be nice to see other faces there, that's why, right? It's because the more people that go to the international stage from NA, the more people are going to get better at the international level, right? So it turns in from just being one team that's internationally powerful to being 2 teams that are always ready. And then eventually, when NA gets 2 slots, they can both go turn up. But the thing is sometimes you have to send someone over. They get the nerves. They're going to have a rough stage in the beginning, you know, and hopefully they turn that around. But if they don't, either way, they leave with a lot of experience. They bring that experience home, and they start testing the other teams with that experience, just like what BTK did, right? So if we can get 2 teams to do that, that'd be an amazing thing, right? Because now we grow at an even faster rate.
And that's all.
This man said,
I
hope Zane doesn't go to MSC, bro. They're going to come for you, bro. Our points, we just went down 3 points in the stock market, Deku. We just went down 3 points, bro.
Hey, you know what? I'll take the hit for it. I'm not here to be the
messing with you. I'm just messing.
I want to see what I want to see. Let's shake the hierarchy.
Yeah, bro. Whenever BTK lost last year, I was actually kind of hype about it. I was like, this is probably the best thing that could ever happen for NA. Like that was just
on a tear. They weren't losing, and then they lost, and it was like, holy shit! And North America's getting better. That was the narrative of the storyline. That's all I want. I want to hear it. North America's getting better, and I want to see it now.
Someone said, how do we make that happen? How do we get more slots in the world stage? I think we just keep competing hard and keep doing what we're doing. I don't think we get 2 slots in M5. Maybe we get 2 slots in M5, but I think like M6, M7, it's possible. I think that's about it. Even if we don't do amazing, like even if we don't continue to get place top 5, I think it's possible. Because like for example, look at like what's it called? Look at Malaysia. They've had 2 slots forever, and they've never placed super high. Sorry, Gideon. Sorry.
But
it's just the reality.
Kim, that's okay. I'm okay if our team, like, bro, if they go to MFC and they lose first round, that's not bad. Like, yeah, it may be bad for, like, as far as, like, I don't know, if you want to count MSC as some grand all record. I don't think anyone's taking MSC that serious. As far as like your professional career, but if they go and they lose, you still gotta. You know how many people watch MSC? They're gonna get fans. They don't have to win. There's gonna be, if they get fans, they come back to North America. Those same fans are gonna want to see them. They're gonna tune into the North American region. That helps NA. It doesn't matter if they lose. Again, Cambodia has fans. Like. You don't have to be winning to have fans. You being there, you're a pro player. People like pro players. They like to see them compete. They don't have to win all the time. Fans are fans. Your favorite artist doesn't drop great music all the time. Your favorite athlete doesn't win all the time, but you're still a fan. So it's the same concept.
It's very true. All right. I don't know if I can go too much longer, Deku. I was planning on doing MPL tonight, but that's insanity. That doesn't start till like 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. And I have to be up at 8 a.m. to work. No, it's like, what time is it scheduled for? Let's see. Well, today's one of the 2 game days, so it doesn't start till late. It's Saturday, it starts early. And then on Friday, it's like 4 a.m. or some shit like that. It's horrible. It's really bad. Which normally, like, if we weren't going to practice cast tonight, I would have just took a nap and woken up at 3 a.m. But because we practice and stuff, there's no way I'm staying up all the way. If I would have got the nap in, it actually starts at 1:45, but there's always an hour until it actually starts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 2:45.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I can't pull that. Oh, there's no way. I'll watch it tomorrow. Tomorrow we got another practice cast for...
Oh yeah, that's right. You got some.
Yeah, I got some practice cast tomorrow. I don't know if we're gonna be able to stream it or not. We'll see. I'll ask the teams if they want it to be streamed or not. If they say no, guys, then I can't stream it. I'm sorry. That's just life.
We'll go ahead and finish that though. Who and who?
No, I don't know yet. I'm not gonna say. We're gonna. I wasn't even supposed to say that. Come on,
I tried to help y'all. I'm sorry. I tried to help. I tried to get him to leak it. He's not G.
I feel like I've always been the PR caster. Like no matter who I'm with. When I used to cast with Ben, he would always be like, "Come on, just let it out." And Trex, and it's like, "Nah, guys." I feel like me and Deck are gonna have the same relationship.
For the people, by the people.
All right, to everyone that's watched and hung out, I appreciate it, guys. It's been a pleasure. Z killed. big shout out for the clips recently, and to none of the other clippers have been in here. Captain YT, shout out. All you guys went ham yesterday. I've been seeing my face all over the recommended. It's fucking. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but I appreciate it all. Deku, it was a pleasure having you here tonight. You guys are going to hear our voices together a lot more. So, yeah. Any last words from you, Deku?
America.
Do I want to interview V-Wise? Yeah, that'd be dope to interview V-Wise, but if I could get him on a podcast or something, that'd be great. Ezekiel, you going to make it happen?
He killed the man.
Do what they did with Mirko. Make it happen, Trex. Make it happen, Z-Killed. Make it happen.
Good night, Ritz.
I don't think that could happen. They're part of like a super big org and stuff like that. So, like, they have like contracts and stuff. But good night, guys. Much love. Nope, I'm just asking. All right, guys. I'm out. Deuces. Good night. Sayonara.